Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us live right here on the one, the only, the New Bedford Guide, Row 1, Seat 1. I am your host, Joey Fats. With me, as always, the Darkness, Mr. Sean Bettingo.
Hey.
We need a better, we need a better nickname for you.
Bare minimum. BMB, bare minimum.
Bear.
No, don't say the last name. Just bare minimum.
Master Shredder.
Why Master Shredder?
Because you're the foot, so you're the king of the foot.
No, I want to be Super Shredder. That was Kevin Nash.
Kevin
Ooh,
Nash.
this is true.
Ooh, Kevin Nash.
He was just doing like massive roids.
So, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us, tuning in tonight and joining us. We've got a great 2 hours packed up here for you. Tons of stuff to get into. Everything Super Bowl 55 related.
Boring.
We will get into the game itself, what it had, what it didn't. We'll talk about Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes, the Bucks, the Chiefs.
What it do?
We'll get into the officiating, the halftime show, everything else in between. There's a lot to dive into with this game, so we're gonna go through it. Obviously, it's the biggest game of the year. It is the biggest letdown, I would say, so far of the year. We'll talk about the aspect of how New England fans are complete bandwagon jumping.
I wish that
Tool
was
bags?
live on the mic. That would have been awesome.
That would have been good.
You sound upset.
Yeah, I should just go ahead. Yeah. No, I mean, I would be. Normally when a quarterback flips my team the bird and says I'm not playing for you this year, and goes to another team and then wins a Super Bowl. Yeah, that would usually piss me off. I don't think I would be rooting for that guy and out there like, hey, wins the parade. That wouldn't be me. I'd be like, wow, fuck you, dick.
Can we talk about the ratings really quick?
Oh, how this was the second highest rated Super Bowl in New England
93
ever?
million viewers this year.
Yeah, and then Boston was number 2.
Yeah,
Go
so
figure.
this was the lowest rated Super Bowl nationally since 1981.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
I thought it was 1999 or something.
1981, lowest rated Super Bowl since 1981, and yet the second highest rated Super Bowl in the Boston market.
Yep.
That includes all 9 of the Patriots Super Bowls.
So if you
under Brady.
if you counted Boston and Tampa together, that's 100% of the market. I'm doing shit math, by the way. It's not real math.
I'd say
I don't
it's
think that's
80.
exactly how that works.
That's
but
how it
I-
works.
You know
but
what?
I
I
like
will
where your
say
head's
this.
at.
I'll give you an 80% market. I'll give you that.
What?
Because
Boston?
20% is going to be Kansas City.
Dude, Kansas
Everybody
City was number
else,
1. No, they're number
not so
1.
much.
Kansas City was the number 1 market for the Super Bowl in terms of the ratings.
The show Ozark turned into it.
There you go. Sure. I don't know what Ozark is. Never seen it. But.
What?
Wow, I'm shocked.
Oh, is
Netflix,
that? Wait, no,
Jason Bateman.
that's the one with
that's really
Becomes a
good.
drug lord kingpin.
Angry bosses guy, right? Or
Yes.
Whatever.
Horrible bosses.
horrible
yes.
bosses. Yeah.
I love Jason Bateman.
I think I started watching it. I watched the first episode and I was like, nah, this seems.
Once you get into it, it's good. Let's not go down that squirrel hole.
If you've seen Breaking Bad, I feel like you've seen them all now.
Vic makes a good point. More people streamed it than watched it.
Possibly, but
You did for a little while.
for a little while. But that was only because of I was physically incapable of being able to watch it on TV because of the snowstorm.
This is true.
So
I can picture Joey outside like a Tauntaun from Empire Strikes Back, just going, just screaming outside because they had no reception. And everyone's like,
I was literally
dying camels outside the house.
I was outside. I had my
It's a fucking goat herder.
I'm like outside of I got a cutoff T-shirt on, my gym shorts, and my boots, and I'm outside hucking snowballs at the dish, trying to shake the snow off
move
it.
Like, come on.
My
come
dad
on.
had a great idea. My dad took the his pool brush, like for the actual
Yeah, and
swimming
he just
pool,
tapped it.
and extended it all the way up there. And was like doot 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 doot, and just scraped all the snow off. And it was like, I was like, that's pretty fucking
All right,
mint. Wish I had
let's
that.
get
So
into this
the
motherfucker.
noise you just made was the Cantina song. Yeah.
I
I didn't. That didn't fall on deaf ears. I called you a
Star Wars.
Tauntaun, and you went do 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 do.
Subliminal. It's Star Wars is built into our blood.
Planted the seed.
It is. 774-992-8702. That's the phone number if you want to give us a call. Give us. We want all your opinions tonight. We want everything. We want your thoughts on the game.
We want Patriots fans calling in.
I want to hear from. Yeah, I want to hear from the New England faithful.
Should I leave and call in?
Why I shouldn't.
go over
Why
there.
I shouldn't just completely lay into you for being total frauds of a fan base,
You
which you
know-
are.
Hold on, let's get into this because I don't want you to call because all year long, what have you been saying and what have you been sticking to your guns all
Fuck
year?
Tom Brady.
Well,
He
not
can
just
suck
that,
my
but-
dick.
No, I said I'm not going to root for Tom unless he gets to the Super Bowl.
And you didn't.
And
then he made it. And you're like, fuck Patrick Mahomes.
I rooted for him on Sunday. I was like,
you're like, you know what? I don't like that Kermit the Frog moment.
dude, I was like, damn. I'm like, I felt like Snoop Dogg doing like Planet Earth. I was like, he throttling them. I'm looking around. I'm like,
oh snap! Watch out, cuz.
He ain't even scared. He running like a turtle.
It was a bad game. It was a boring game. I think that do you want to? Well, let's
just get into the game. Let's go.
Let's start off with the game. So obviously, 2 out of 3 of us picked Kansas City to win.
Yes.
I made the case for Tampa being able to win this game.
We had a good back and forth
last week, and why don't we just let's just want to just play that real quick?
Yeah, play it quick.
Quick clip.
It's
so
a
I can
quick,
see how wrong you are.
He actually wasn't.
Yeah, I know.
It's a 20-second clip. It was dead fucking on, Sean. So why don't you kiss my ass?
So you've got Shaq Barrett, who I think is going to show out. And then you've got the problem for the Kansas City Chiefs. They got backup tackles going into this game.
Yep.
Both their left and right tackle are backups.
Yep.
That is going to be a problem with Jason Pierre-Paul and Shaq Barrett. Vita Vea coming back. Okay, they've got Dominican Sue, the linebackers for the Bucs. This is going to be a problem for the Chiefs.
So that was just a 20-second clip. You can go back and listen to last week's show. That conversation went on for about a half an hour. Show me where I was wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Show me where I was wrong. The only thing I fucked up with was not taking my own advice and understanding that defense wins championships, and that I probably should have maybe given the Bucs more credit.
I mean, as far as I was making the case that tackles whatever, but if you can go hike 1-2, throw the ball, and have a Cheetah or a Kelsey that's been tearing up every defense, they'd win the game. It was more like hike 8. 9, fuck.
Dude.
Like, there was no...
If you can bully Travis Kelce, that is Bill Belichick's mantra. Bill Belichick is just like, yeah, he's a great receiver, but if you just beat the shit out of him on the line, it's it.
Listen, I'm not shoehorning the Broncos into this conversation, but the Broncos have done an excellent job against Kansas City defensively the last 4 or 5 years, and since Mahomes has taken over.
So how is that not a shoehorn about the Broncos?
Because what I'm saying is that what Sean just said is exactly right. If you bully Travis Kelce and you take away Tyreek Hill, I mean, go look at Tyreek Hill's numbers against the Broncos, like through his career. They're awful. Mm-hmm. The only problem with the Broncos have had is they can't score more than 14 points.
And as we've seen in the postseason, usually if a team channels one, the other just feasts. They've never been able to hone in on both those guys and keep them quiet.
You know what? I think I said it 2 weeks ago, to be honest with you. I said Antoine Winfield could be like a sneaky MVP candidate. Obviously, he didn't. He did a great job.
Shout out to my boy Bobby in the chat real quick. Bobby, hey, I got a new dart set up for Darts Connect. We got to get up.
Jesus.
Just throwing that out there.
My boy, young Bobby in the chat.
My boy,
we're gonna throw that shit.
My boy Bobby can chuck some spikes, dog.
All right.
I don't know anything about that.
Back to your point, Sean.
But I think I said Antoine Winfield was gonna have a good game, but he was on Hill by himself a couple of times, and I was impressed as a rookie. And he's a big rookie. Like he's
Winfield?
Yeah.
Winfield's amazing. I might actually go buy a Winfield jersey for that taunting celebration.
Dude,
that
was the best taunting. We'll get to it later.
It was awesome. And
I'm just saying,
Cole, I'm glad you're bringing up LeBron, because actually LeBron is going to come up in this show a little bit later on as we dive in.
Yes, he will.
Fuck LeBron.
Yes, give me your hatred. Give me your tears.
Yeah, that's okay. There's no tears.
All right, so first things first.
LeBron's cried more than we.
Let's look. Okay, we're gonna sit here. All right, let's take a look at the Bucs side of things. All right, the defense absolutely fucking dominated the shit out of the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes had never ever once been held to single digits, and he'd never been held without a touchdown in his entire career.
I think that's the most impressive thing to take away from the game.
Until Super Bowl Sunday. Now, this is what happens, like I said, when you have Mike Remmers starting at tackle and you're Shaq Barrett, who I'm sure had DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller and one in each ear, telling him, this is how you beat him. You saw what we did. That was 5 years ago. That guy was not good. 5 years later, what do you think he is? You think he got better? No, he didn't get better. Feast, my young son.
People can get better.
Yeah,
people can't get better.
Yeah, but he was not a starting tackle.
No, he wasn't that standout player.
So how do you get better if you don't start?
No, I'm saying yes, Shaq Barrett.
People can get better. Shaq Barrett got better. Shaq Barrett got infinitely better.
Is that what you're talking about?
No, we're talking about the tackle.
No, Mike Remmers.
Oh, my bad.
The tackle.
Okay,
Shaq Barrett ate that dude for breakfast.
Oh, I know.
And shit
I thought he was shitting on Barrett.
Dude,
I mean, and Dominican Sue was lining up at defensive end at times, for fuck's sake. Like
that's a slow fat boy.
That's craziness. So this is crazy. So the Chiefs, right? So the Chiefs come in. And they just get obliterated by the Bucs defense. And look, I know you can't give the MVP to a coach, but Todd Bowles deserves the Super Bowl MVP for the game plan he schemed up and what that defense was able to do to Patrick Mahomes in that offense.
Oh, Bulls called a great game.
A phenomenal game. They called it perfectly.
If he could
to
have
a
called
T.
any game like that for the Jets, maybe he'd still be a head coach.
And then on the Bucs side of things too, there is the there's the side story, a little sidebar. Some fucking douchebag Brady got his 7th ring or some shit.
And another MVP.
Which again,
they should have gave it to Gronk.
Such
Honestly,
a soft MVP.
I think
but then again,
Vegas had a lot to do.
When
with
has
that.
Brady been awarded Super Bowl MVP and you're like, he deserved it? Like outside of the Carolina game.
Maybe Philly.
No, the Eagles get. Eagles. The
Carolina-
Seahawks game definitely.
No.
I was gonna say Carolina, Atlanta. Those are the only two that he was like head and shoulders.
No, the first Panthers game.
Yeah.
Dude.
I mean, not the first Philly game against T.O. He had a good game.
No, but that went to Deion Branch. Deion Branch set the
Deion
record.
Branch.
Deion
Yeah,
Branch
he didn't
blew
win
the
that
doors
one.
off, but Brady had a great game.
Well, he did, but
not really.
But it was
Yeah,
all
two-
Branch. Branch
yeah.
had like 11 receptions
no
or some
Yeah,
Yeah,
shit
because
like
remember he
that.
threw that interception late, and you're like, "What the fuck you doing?" Oh no,
Honestly,
he had the fumble
I-
on the goal line. That's
I
it.
thought
was
it
a fumble.
I thought it was Gronk's to lose. Like I thought Gronk.
It
I
should've
thought
been
I
Gronk.
thought it should have been
2
Gronk.
touchdowns, first season back, made big plays,
My-
caught the balls that he needed to catch.
My only gripe was
That
that
third down catch that he had was fucking great.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he made plays all game.
yeah, Gronk made plays on third down. Who didn't make plays on third down? Travis Kelce. No, like so.
Gronk all 19 fucking seconds slower than Kelsey too.
Oh my god, dude.
Gronk looks so slow.
Dude, he's weathered down.
I was gonna say, don't say he's old because he's not old.
No, he's
but-
32.
Yeah.
I love how
31.
my family calls me in the middle of the show. Like they don't know I've been doing this for like.
Take up and hang up.
Apparently,
10
they don't
years.
give a shit.
I just hung up on him. That's fine.
Now your dad's just gonna call the show.
That's fine. Call the show. Don't call.
Yeah, he's gonna call the show. And be like, so breakfast tomorrow.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm not
Yeah, so,
listening.
I mean,
What are you guys
Gronk-
talking about?
Gronk definitely made the catches that I thought merited the MVP with the 2 touchdowns, the big plays he made, the blocks that he had for Ronald Jones. I mean, the dude played a great game.
Gronk played, I think, out of everybody. My only thing was like, I wanted to give it to somebody on Tampa's defense. Like, I think Devin White deserved it probably
Devin
the
White
most
has been playing a
because he
postseason
played.
to remember.
I mean, just fucking out of his
Dude,
mind.
This entire postseason, he's been playing out of his mind.
Yeah, I think he had just under 40 tackles in the postseason.
Yeah.
Like he averaged almost
Yeah,
10
2
tackles
fumble
per game.
recoveries, a pick.
He played absolutely fucking lights out. I was hoping it was going to be Shaq Barrett because, Broncos love. But bro, tell me that man did not learn under 2 of the best to ever do it.
Oh, you mean the Cowboy great that just played for you for like
Yeah,
20
the
years?
Cowboy great who never did jack shit in Dallas and he comes
didn't have
to
Peyton Manning.
comes to Denver and wins a Super Bowl. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
Tony Romo that also sucked in the booth. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll definitely touch on that. No, I was hoping it was going to be Shaq Barrett or even Jason Pierre-Paul. Jason Pierre-Paul has never lost a playoff game. He's undefeated in the playoffs. If you have Jason Pierre-Paul on your team and you go to the playoffs, you're guaranteed to win the Super Bowl.
Well, Giants and now Tampa.
Yeah, he's never lost a playoff game. He's undefeated. He's
I don't know how
lost
I feel
more
about
fingers to fireworks than he has playoff games.
Yeah.
I know. I was pointing it out with a bunch of. I went and watched the Super Bowl with a bunch of people that don't watch football.
You're
besides
pointing it out. You have to
besides
stuff
Smallwood.
it in his face like that. The guy only has like 6.5 fingers.
Yeah, literally. And I was like, guys, look, he's a Ninja Turtle. Oh fuck!
That's like what the noise he makes, I guess.
I've never heard a Ninja Turtle. Make
That sounds
noise
like
in
the
my
little
life.
that's
drunk one.
What was that little fucking creature that
from the
Gremlin?
Star Wars.
No, that hangs out with Jabba the Hutt. Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I'm
Salacious
saying.
Crumb?
Yeah,
Yeah.
No.
That's Sean's favorite.
That's what he talks about cheese the whole time.
Yeah.
Always get back to fucking Star Wars.
Somehow, why do we always circle back to Star Wars? Anyway,
Sean's like, I
so
put
from the
Force
Tampa
on you,
standpoint, I mean, I listen. Here's my thing, and I'll say this because obviously, everybody was like texting me and posting on my social media posts and adding me all day on Sunday after the Bucks won, like as if like I was supposed to be like mad. Which falls into what we're going to talk about a little bit more about why the Patriots are such fraudulent, such
But we'll get to
fraudulent
that
fans.
after the game.
I love the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I always have. Like I've always loved like John Lynch, Derek Brooks, Warren Sapp,
mean
Simeon
Chucky's
Rice.
children?
Brad
Even
Johnson.
pre-Chucky, like when Tony
Keyshawn,
Dungy built
baby.
that team, I love the colors, I love the uniforms, love the Bucks. Always loved the Bucks. Like Michael Pittman with his fucking like 22-inch arms, like looking like Hulk Hogan toting the
Yeah,
rock.
Pittman
I
was
loved
a beast.
everything about the Bucks. I still do. I'm wicked happy for that city.
Warwick Dunn, Mike Allstott.
Dude, Mike All-Star up that guy. Gene Deckerhoff.
Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling.
I went to try to find the Tampa Bay radio feed online because the stream was so choppy. So I went to try to find the Tampa Bay feed just so I could listen to Gene Deckerhoff. call the game because he is one of my top 3 or 4 all-time favorite play-by-play guys. It's like him, Johnny Most, Paul Allen, and I don't know, fucking insert like whomever here.
The guy from the fucking Milwaukee Brewers that was in Major League. What's his name?
Oh, Bob Uecker.
Bob Uecker. Yeah, Bob Uecker's great.
Just a bit outside.
Why do we always revert back to the just a bit outside? No, he's not on my he's not like in my top like favorite, but like Bob Papa for the Giants is great. Merrill Reese for the Eagles is great.
Yeah, there's good ones out there.
There's great ones, but Paul Allen, Gene Deckerhoff was kind of 1-2. They're right below Johnny Most, but this whole thing with Tampa is it's fantastic. I love it. I love it for the Bucs. They get their second title. They deserve it. The city deserves it. The players on that team deserve it. Like
they suffered through Jameis Winston.
Say what you want. Like okay, I know Brady showed up and he called Gronk and got him out of retirement, and AB just like they took the ankle bracelet off him for 6 months, and they're like, all right.
He missed his goodnight kisses from Tom.
Do you know that noise I just made? That's AB when he walks up and says, "Wah!"
Pretty much.
Hey, they brought him basically in on a leash.
She was like, Tom, AB's in the bedroom again. Can you get him out, please?
He's like, no.
Why is she British?
I don't know. She's Brazilian. She's Nicole Kidman.
She has a
all of
different
sudden.
accent on this show every time we bring her up. Let's face it.
It's like you brought in AB, and they bring him in. He's like a shaking little critic going, and they unleash him. They're like, go run. And he's like, and just runs off. But then he caught like 2 balls. Like, he's not.
Tom, it pissed on the rug again, Tom.
But he caught an important one.
Yeah, they said he ran the wrong route. No, they said it today, actually. They said the Antonio Brown touchdown catch, he was supposed to go out, and he ran in and stopped for no reason, and Brady threw it to him.
Yeah, he was open.
It worked, right? I mean,
better lucky than good. I don't know.
No, it'd be like I saw there was a hole in the zone.
Now, let's flip the script here. Let's go to the Kansas City side of things.
Yep.
And if you want to call in, please feel free to call in whenever you're ready. 774-992-8702. You don't have to wait for us to stop talking about something. We're not going to stop talking. It's what we do. So just call in whenever you're ready.
We'll chime
calls.
in. Take my side on everything.
Yeah, we go in enough squirrel holes anyway. So
Patriots fans, and I see the chatter in the.
But before we get into the Patriots, we gotta finish.
Excuse me.
Before we get into the Patriots fans, we gotta finish this game call here because
we're talking about Kansas City.
Do you mind letting me lead the show? Keith,
No,
is that okay with you?
Listen,
is it okay with you if I lead my show?
I'm on a combined 3 hours of sleep to pass 72 hours.
He's still hungover from Sunday. So
I'm not hungover. I'm just tired.
He's just like, fuck that shit. I don't want to do this.
The show group chat earlier today, I thought Keith was fucking with me because I made mention about Russell Wilson, and Keith 4 hours later was like, "Yo, Russell," and I'm like, "Yeah."
What about him?
And you're like, "There was more." I'm like, okay.
Joey Fats Radio, row 1, seat 1.
The show group chat earlier today. Yeah. Hello.
Hello, you're on row 1, seat 1.
Hello.
Yeah, this is Victor. I'm over here trying to call a Patriots fan.
All right.
Hey, Vic, you gotta lower the radio in the background, man. We can still hear ourselves. Lower the computer.
All right, I got you. Yeah. Hold on.
First time caller, Vic Big Poppy Ortiz over here.
Vic, is that really his name on Facebook?
You gotta lower the radio in the background, man. We can still hear ourselves.
What the fuck? Yeah. All right. I'm good.
Okay.
Good.
There we go.
Yeah, we're
there
good.
he is.
Listen, boys. Listen, I can respect the man leaving for the simple reason is the coach basically told him, not the coach, the GM basically told him go fuck himself. All right, he basically said, yeah, all these years I'm gonna get a hometown discount, but I'm still gonna save money and not give you the weapons you need. Listen, I'm one of those people that justify both sides because I can sit there and say that Belichick needed to spend all his money on the whole team and not just one player. I respect that. Nah, that's bullshit. Don't give me the way. Nah, I'm at the fire station. I gotta go. I gotta call. I'll talk to y'all later.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, one of New Bedford's finest.
Peabody.
Somebody's finest.
That was pretty awesome. Hey, I gotta go.
All right. Well, Vic,
Which happens quite often with Vic.
Stay safe. Glad you're.
Get him, Vic.
Vic, thanks for listening. I will say, as the psycho Patriots fan on the show, that is not true. That is a big misconception because the Patriots actually spent big on weapons that just didn't happen to work out. We had Edelman. Gronk retired. We went in and got AB, and AB did a bunch of sexual acts with
children or
whatever he did
Still
with.
had to pay him.
We had Josh Gordon that we traded for. We traded a second-round pick for Mohamed Sanu. We attempted to revitalize, and I'll give you some information that was actually the Patriots were going to trade for Stephon Diggs this offseason. They were the number 1 team. And when Brady says, I'm not coming back, they said Buffalo can have him.
I mean,
Makes sense.
why would you want him with no quarterback?
Right. What are you
Yeah.
going to do? You're going to give him to Cam?
Well, so he
Cam,
goes there
Cam
and he's
can
like,
throw,
yeah, Cam Newton. He's like, I can't even.
Yeah, so Cam can throw the ball 3 feet in front of him every single time?
Dude, he'd be like, so I left Kirk Cousins that actually could reach me. And
Sometimes.
I'm playing with. I mean, he could reach him. It doesn't mean it was accurate,
Yeah,
but he
true.
could reach him.
Listen, I'm a bit nervous, not to get too squirrel hole again. I'm a bit nervous that Cam's coming back because Cam's been liking a lot of Patriots shit on Instagram, and I'm like, my man, I like you, but you can't throw the ball more than 15 feet. Like, it's scaring me.
Yeah, we're not talking yards, people. We're talking feet.
Yeah.
So we'll get into the Patriots and the offseason thing because there's a couple things like Brady's never taken a hometown discount. Like that's
Nope.
it's
a lie. It's a lie.
We've debunked that on this show about what? How many times now,
too
Sean?
many.
400, 500?
Which part? I'm sorry.
About Brady
Brady
taking a
took the
hometown
hometown
discount to stay
So
here.
it wasn't a discount because the NFLPA would never allow it. It was not taking the extreme market value, but he was also
Right,
getting
he didn't
paid
go out
back
and ask for $45 million a year of Pat Mahomes
No,
money.
instead he would get 25 and all kinds of other shit underwritten.
Well, no, he would get a lot of guaranteed money, which was the top end of the deal. He was still taking. He was still taking top of the market.
Yes.
He wasn't exploding the market.
He wasn't. So, but the problem is what people look at when it comes to Brady's contract. They look at the salary. They look at the cap hit for his annual salary for a year, and they see like, oh well, Eli Manning was making $29 million a year, and Brady was only making 20, and
Yeah, but Brady's guaranteed deal
he's
is for $220
and I'm like,
million.
yeah,
and
but I'm
Manning's
like,
was
yeah,
for
but
like 50.
Brady, like Manning was getting $29 million, and like only $2 million was guaranteed. Brady, on the other hand, was his cap
Fully
hit was only
guaranteed.
20, but it was fully guaranteed for like 35.
Yeah.
Because there's a difference
That's
between, and we'll get into this in the next couple of weeks when we start getting the offseason stuff, cash versus cap, which is going to get really interesting this year.
Oh my God!
When the cap goes down,
It's going to be
down,
181 million.
Which
That's low.
teams like Kansas City are going to start to
Saints.
feel the pinch. The Saints are fucked.
The Saints
LA,
are,
the
Saints,
Rams.
The Saints are 79 million over the cap.
The Rams are
They're
not
not
fucked
fucked
this
yet,
year,
but
they
they
will
will
be.
be.
Yes. But anyway, back to the Super Bowl. So let's go to the Kansas City side of things real quick because we all picked, or at least, what the fuck? Why is my Google Assistant like, okay, stop phone. Just
You
stop.
said the magic word.
I did. Kansas City. From a Kansas City standpoint, let's break this down because this was 110% a letdown on the Kansas City side. Okay, if you had told me the Bucs were going to score 31 points and they were going to win the game, I would say
I had them scoring 31 points.
Probably 31-28, 31-27, something like that. Like, damn, it will be. I'm like, it'll be a tight game. It'll be a tight game. This is going to be a close one. If you had told me Pat Mahomes was going to get shut out from the end zone, shut out of the end zone, they were going to kick 3 field goals, and they were going to use me running for his life for the entire time.
The entire time.
I would have been like, well, okay, I can see him running for his life, but they're still going to find a way, right? Wrong. And this is so problem number one, and I'm gonna actually I'll put that to problem number 2. The number one thing I want to say about this game, I never, ever, 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 ever want to hear about Patrick Mahomes being the next greatest of all time ever fucking again. Sean and I have been saying this now for, 2 years?
Listen. God, no, finish your point.
2 years we've been saying that this man is overrated. You need to chill the fuck out. I don't care if he was perpendicular to the ground and flung a ball like sideways. Like, yeah, I get it. He played baseball. Ooh.
No, his dad.
His dad played baseball, and he was a baseball player. And, oh, my God, he's got arm talent. No shit. Aaron Rodgers is still a more talented quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. That being said, I never want to hear Patrick Mahomes' name out of anyone's mouth ever again when it comes to who the greatest quarterback of all time or the
Well,
or
how can he?
potential
He's 3 years.
potential greatest quarterback. The Kansas City Chiefs dynasty,
Just
what
died.
could have been, is dead.
Bang!
Kansas City is the epitome of a paper gangster. They are garbage. They
I'm
are
your pusher.
they are Kurt Warner and the St. Louis Rams. They are Dirk and the Mavs. Okay? They have no business being put in that upper echelon, which all I've heard out of Chiefs Kingdom for the last 2 years was where the next ones to take over the throne. Where are the next ones? Where are the next ones? No, you're not. Patrick Mahomes can be as talented as he wants to. It doesn't matter. You can't win shit. Any single time they get into a fucking big game, if Jimmy fucking Garoppolo throws a ball 20 feet shorter than he did, Patrick Mahomes is now over, and he's got no Super Bowls.
Or if you're hitting wide open George Kittle.
Or that.
Oh, please
So-
don't talk about that.
What do you mean? My boy was doing jumping jacks. Like, look at me, look at me.
I know.
I don't like. They are they're gonna be in it. They're
Well,
gonna.
they're always going to be in the top 4.
They're always gonna be in the mix.
No, not necessarily.
No, I'm saying in the AFC.
Not necessarily. It's very difficult. What they promised before the season of that, Cheetah, we're going to win 7. And he was saying all that crazy shit. Like, it's very difficult. Like, teams don't understand, like, how difficult it is. And, like, those young teams that think it's like, oh, look how young we are. We got this for at least 10 to 15 years. Like, there's no problems there. And not to get to the extreme that Joey's getting, but, like, it is true. Like, it was a lot of overhype. But now I feel like there's, like, almost, we bought into Mahomes too much. Like, he's garbage. Like, I've seen it in the last 2 days. People have been, like, so off on the Mahomes thing, where now they're using, like, the thing that Joey just said. It's like, if Jimmy Garoppolo throws the ball 20 feet less, Patrick Mahomes is a piece of shit. And I'm like, I'm not even joking. I've seen people been like, we should get rid of Kansas City fans on Twitter have been like, we should think about trading Mahomes now, sell high. Like, you've seen everything right now. People go like from one extreme to the next.
That's idiotic.
Way extreme.
But exactly. But
Way
and then
extreme.
someone did a great analogy.
Oh, you want
Someone
to sell
said,
high on Mahomes? Yeah, okay. I'll take him in Denver.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
I'm sure fucking
Mahomes,
30 other teams would take him as
Mahomes
well.
is still excellent, but he's not the guaranteed 50 touchdown, 5,500 yards passing a year guy that we were promised and we were told
Nobody can be
sustainably.
a 50 touchdown a year guy. Nobody can
But
be.
That's what we were told.
I know that's
we
what
were
we were
told
told,
that.
but you got to understand that's when every fucking thing goes perfect for you. Your line stays healthy, your wide receivers stay healthy, you got a decent
Which is
running
what
game.
Sean and I have been saying for the last 2 years.
Like, it's okay to
But
be
look, he's
35
going to be a
touchdowns.
35 guy. He'll be a 35
That's
flirting
fine,
with 30
but then
guy.
we got roasted a year ago for saying he's a 35. Like, what? You can't say that about my mother.
Look, I get
It's like
even
no
that
one
year, I
anything.
said he was going to come down a little bit, and I saw 40 being his high.
Right, but that's exactly what we were saying. We're saying
Right.
like he's not as good as he was, and everyone's like, "You're just being a dumb bitch."
Well, look,
we said he was going to come back to the pack.
I'm
Why
not
don't I use Vince McMahon?
I know you
He's son of a bitch.
like
I don't know why I go to Vince McMahon.
Austin. See, but like for me, he's still a great quarterback. Just because he lost the Super Bowl doesn't mean I'm sitting in and saying he's last week's trash. Like, I'm not going to jump on that fucking ledge yet. But
I'm not saying he's trash, but sorry, go ahead.
But looking at what happened with the Chiefs, and like you said with the Rams, the differences between the Chiefs and the Rams is that Rams team was already older,
Yep.
getting old.
Yep.
Like, they weren't these young guys that
Not
were fresh.
really, dude.
Yeah, kind of.
Torrey Holt was a rookie the first
Minus
Super Bowl.
fucking Torrey Holt. You had Kurt Warner that was old.
Kurt Warner was a bona fide, was what you would consider a rookie.
And
Keep in mind, Kurt Warner played for another 12 years after that 99 Super
he
Bowl.
didn't start all the time, though. And he wasn't really good until he went back to the Cardinals. Do you remember Kurt Warner in New York?
Yes, I do. And actually, for the first 5 or 6 games, he was really good.
And then
Actually,
the
if you go
wheels fell
back
off
to
again.
Kurt Warner getting benched.
We're not getting into Kurt Warner all the time.
I'm saying if you go back to the year that he got benched for Eli Manning, 2004, Kurt Warner actually played really well in the first half of that season, and it was almost like a slap in the face of the team to bench him and bring in Eli. But that's a different topic for a different day.
That's next week's off-season
Stuff.
Yes. But Bruce was getting older. Falk already had his run in Indy, and he was getting older. Like, the line was getting older.
But those guys were only 5-6 year veterans at that point.
No, Falk was... Yeah, all right, so maybe Falk
Yeah,
was
Falk was
6
like
years.
year 6.
But Isaac Bruce was
Not even.
already...
Falk was what, 95? Was he drafted?
94.
Yeah, but that was 2001, so that's year 6.
No, I'm saying 99
No,
when they won
99
their
was
first
when
one.
they started.
Oh, no, that was year 5 because that was the first year out of Indianapolis. He
His
got
first
traded from
year-
Indianapolis.
His
Yeah.
first year in,
So it was year 3 or something
in
like
St. Louis was when they got constructed the greatest show on turf.
The greatest show on turf.
They didn't win in 90. They won in
99.
2000. I thought they won in 2000 and they lost
99.
in 01.
99.
99 against the
Titans.
Titans.
2000 was the Ravens.
Yep.
2001 was they
Oh, yeah,
lost the
bad.
Patriots.
Right, okay. So, but again, they didn't even make it back to the Super Bowl back to back. Because that was a team that once you punched them in the mouth.
No, 2000. I think they got hurt in 2000. They were.
No,
I think they were
2000 they were
5 and-
injury riddled mess.
Oh no! Did they actually? I think they lost a playoff. Yeah,
they did
lost.
lose a playoff.
Yeah, but they
Made it
lost
to
so
the
many guys.
playoffs.
Didn't they
Yeah.
lose Aeneas Williams
Yeah,
like in the middle of the
they
season?
did
lost.
lose him, yes.
Which Aeneas Williams actually top 20 all time interceptions.
Absolutely.
But go ahead,
Cardinal great.
continue.
But like I was saying, the difference between this Chiefs team is they're a younger group of guys. Collectively as a whole. Their starting running back was a fucking rookie. Patrick Mahomes.
Hole.
We'll get to that.
You said
Ow, my hole. started running back. Great catch by Sean.
Yeah, no problem.
But like, their starting running back was a rookie. Their wide receivers are all young. Their quarterback's young. Travis Kelce's the oldest one of the bunch.
Mm-hmm.
He's 29.
Oh, that's right. They lost in 2000. They lost the wild card game to New Orleans. Remember?
Oh, that was the
Aaron Brooks year.
The Deuce year.
Yeah.
McAllister.
Yeah, I think it was Deuce and Aaron Brooks.
to Joe Horn.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So I think with this Chiefs team, from the hype that they had going into it, everything that was going on,
Willie
they
Jackson
literally
had himself
felt
a
like,
day.
yeah, we can lose in the regular season, but we're not going to lose the Super Bowl. Like, we're just not going to lose. We're too good. Now this is them being like, wow, we have to get that hunger back. Like, we have to fight for it again. Like, we're not just going to be that team.
And down the stretch, they were beat up.
They were.
Mahomes needs a surgery. Mahomes got knocked out. Mahomes was slow.
Look,
I mean,
we'll start with Joey's first point. The front four, front five, front seven of Tampa Bay owned the B team of the Chiefs.
it was the
offensive
front
line.
four.
You didn't even need to rush seven.
Nope.
It
They
was
rushed
Sue,
four.
Vita Vea, Shaq Barrett, and JPP.
Yeah, and then once in a while they'd throw in a fifth just to fuck it up.
And the
that's what you
fifth
see.
would be like a cornerback.
And the fifth would
I think
be having
I think
Mahomes running for his life.
Mahomes was pressured. I think on 53% of his
I
passes.
thought it was higher than that. I thought it was higher.
I mean,
than that.
like-
I thought it was in the 60s.
50% is a lot.
Dude, I really
every
thought it was
other?
in the 60s. Think of how many rollouts
We can
he had.
check. We can check.
Think of how many rollouts he had. How many times he had to run just
But
for
how
a
many
yard.
times does fucking Mahomes do that anyway? Though he
Yeah,
runs
but
to
most
run
of
because
that
he's
is to
comfortable
buy
with it.
time, not to run for life.
So hold on. Let's bring it back to center here because my point with this is with Mahomes. Okay, like I said, he's a paper gangster. Like I don't want to hear it.
He's still great.
Like yeah,
take him-
you know what, and
I take him on my team. You take him on your team. You take him on your team, wouldn't you?
Of course I would.
Okay, then. So,
Yeah, I'm not saying no.
You know
but
who,
guess what? Your quarterback is only as good as the line in front of him, and we've seen that countless times again.
Oh no, that's not necessarily true either.
Oh, no?
No.
Sean, if you're getting hit 50% of the time, or getting rushed, or getting hurried
Tell
50%
that
of the
tell
time,
that to Dan Marino, who got fucking blown the fuck up.
and Dan Marino
Patriots
never
offensive
caught
line-
a ball under center for the last 6 years of his fucking career. He was
Listen.
always in the shotgun because of that.
There
Be
is-
honest.
It's
When
true.
was Dan Marino on the fucking center after 1992?
But it worked.
He wasn't.
But it worked.
Yeah, you know why? He was just like, hey, I need the extra time. I'm going to stand back here, do a 5-step drop, and then fire the fucking ball.
Figure it out. That's what I'm trying to say.
I mean,
So
look,
if that's what they have to do with Mahomes, that's what they have to do with Mahomes.
I
All I'm
I
saying
get,
is
I get what Keith's saying, and his point is
their line was atrocious,
his
and their
point.
line
His
was
point
the B
rings true to an extent, but the problem is that when you run into a team like Tampa Bay, where it's a matchup problem, like for example, take the 2015 New England Patriots against Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, New England's offensive line was just fine that year. There was no issues. They were a good offensive line, good unit. They lacked in the running game, and that was about the only thing that they suffered from on offense.
What, the Patriots?
Yeah,
No, they had no receivers that year either. Remember we had Matt Slater playing starting wide receiver?
you had Amendola. You had that was
don't think-
2013. I'm talking 15.
Man, is that 8 years ago already?
Yes.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm talking 13
Okay,
when you had
continue.
Amendola, Edelman, Gronk. Everybody was healthy in the AFC Championship game, and Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware, and they hit Brady. What, a record like 28 times they hit him, and that was a good offensive line the Patriots trotted out there. The problem is when sometimes, and this is why teams construct themselves the way that they do, is because they feel like Denver felt like they could go in and they could beat anybody. Okay, and I see a lot of people slobbing Brady's nod. And they're like, he beat Wilson. He beat Breathe and Rodgers and Mahomes. And I'm like, yeah, and and this goes to another point. We'll get into it later in the
Pretty
show.
great.
Anything Brady's done, Peyton's already done it better or did it first. Because remember,
Oh, don't go back to who did it first now.
because remember that time when Peyton beat Big Ben, Brady, and the then MVP of the league, Cam Newton, in 3
Yeah,
straight games.
and everyone said, wow, that was a great fucking job. No one was like, Brady did it better.
No, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, okay. How many rings do you have? You have half of it. Tom Brady's." Whatever.
Anyway,
Oh, it's
the
gonna be fun.
Chiefs-
it's gonna be fun later on in the show.
It is gonna be fun
Joey.
later on.
I'm
So-
looking forward to it.
so
But here's my thing: is no matter what. So Keith's point is right, but the thing is with matchups. Okay.
Right, but
And
Joe, you can't tell me if they had Eric Fisher and they're starting right tackle, and they weren't using the guy that got blown the fuck up. In the
they would have
15
done.
Broncos.
They absolutely would have done better.
Much better.
But if you think that guarantees a Kansas City win, I
I'm not
got
saying
news
it
for you.
guarantees you
It
Kansas City
doesn't
win,
because
but guess what? The game plan can go as it's supposed to, as instead of be like, wow, we're getting beat the fuck up. How do we change this? How do we make this work? What do we do?
I'm glad you just
That's
said that.
panic mode.
I'm glad you just said that and put a pin in that because I'm gonna say this and then we're gonna jump into the next. That's my next point. This whole thing about Patrick Mahomes, right? And everybody keeps saying like, dude, he's so young. he's going to be back. You know, this isn't the last we've seen of
Listen,
Pat Mahomes.
you're not guaranteed anything.
Bro, we said the same thing about Aaron Rodgers. We said the same thing about Russ Wilson. We've said the same thing about Cam Newton.
I don't think we really said that about Cam Newton.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Well, we didn't, but
we didn't.
they did.
Dude, I called Cam Newton a Jekyll and Hyde player for about 5 years.
Josh
I
Beckett.
said Cam
We
Newton would
say
be
Josh
out of.
Beckett all the time.
I said Cam Newton would be out of the league within 6 years of him getting drafted.
Yes, you fucking did.
A couple years off.
I'm a couple years off.
Listen, one more thing to go back into that. I'm glad you brought up Russell Wilson. Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson's first 3 years of their career mirror each other.
Mirror
Pretty
image.
much, yeah.
Lost in the championship game, made the Super Bowl in 1 year 2, year 3 go to the Super Bowl and lose to Brady.
And they won.
Identical.
Although Wilson should have won that second Super Bowl.
But it didn't.
You know.
I mean, the difference
Let's
was.
try to outsmart myself and be like, hey, beast mode, you're out.
Don't throw the ball.
Russell, throw the ball, Russell. Get the glory, boy.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and throw the ball.
Shit,
Let's
right?
go. Oh, we got this guy who's been just absolutely tearing chunks out
We
of
got
the
this
ass
guy
of the
that
defense.
took the entire New Orleans Saints defense and carried him
fuck
60
it.
yards into the end zone. You
Fuck-
know what? Let's throw the ball from
Fuck
the one.
that guy, Keith. Fuck that guy.
But and before we jump to your next thing, case in point in the offensive line game, Kansas City's been a decent to good running team all year long. They couldn't run the ball if they wanted to. Well, they wanted to, but they couldn't fucking try.
Well, there was, and that's kind of a twofold problem. Number one was that they were missing their 2 tackles. Okay,
Yes.
but that hadn't stopped them
Previously.
Previously, the other was that they got behind so quick that there was really no.
That's the panic.
There was no
Panic set in.
And I'm glad that you brought up the panic mode because my next biggest culprit in why Kansas City got skull fucked on Sunday night is Andy Reid, who did what Andy Reid does in big games, which is completely mismanage just about everything in terms of play calling, clock management, motivating guys on the sidelines. Let's start with the biggest one, which was the clock management at the end of the first half. When Kansas City started calling timeouts. So when the when the Bucs went down and they
Well, you know Brady, you are, man.
they scored that touchdown to make it 21-6 at the half. Because it was 4th and 5, they kick the field goal, they get the bullshit offsides call, which we'll get into the officiating later. Because this drive and
That was the D Ford call all over again.
it was god awful. You know how they
Hey, look, here's the line.
they showed
Here's
it.
my finger.
They showed it. They showed it one time, and they showed it real quick, and then they never showed it again.
Dude,
They're like,
his middle finger was just on the line.
I had a good laugh at that.
Dude, like literally, like say this cord right here where's the line, right? We're gonna be right there.
Watch. Hey, right,
And it was
Keith,
literally his
put it
middle
down.
finger.
Put your finger over the line. Ref. Oh, Brady snapped out. Ah! Throws the flag. Oh, sorry. I thought I stabbed you with a
Fucking
pen.
pen's out, you douchebag. Could have at least clicked it in, you son of a bitch.
Don't do that.
Well, breaking news on row 1C1.
Dude, come
Sean's
on.
trying to poison Keith with ink.
he's gonna file workman's comp, and he's a minority, so I'm
So-
double
Oh,
fucked.
I'm
So-
fucking fisting you guys later on tonight. Watch this.
Whoa, phrasing.
Lawsuit's
Jesus.
coming.
And just like that, row 1, seat 1 is dead before it ever started.
So the referee, like immediately, if you watch that replay, the ball's like he's like, "Bruh." He threw that ball faster than Brady threw the ball. He threw the flag. That's
Dude,
what
that,
I
thing,
think.
that thing whistled in there.
Boom.
I died laughing.
Why was Andy Reid on that drive?
Sorry.
Why was Andy Reid calling timeouts as if, like, when Kansas City got the ball back, like, best case scenario, you get the ball back, you're at your own 25-yard line with, like, what, give or take 10 seconds left on the clock?
You need the ball, you go into
What
half.
the fuck were you going to do? Like, the Bucs wanted they wanted to get to the half. They were completely content with getting the half 14-6.
Yep.
And Andy Reid inexplicably just starts calling timeouts, and you're like, what is he doing? Why is he doing this? Like, Andy Reid reverted back. He was like, oh, it must be 2003, and this is Philadelphia.
Donovan McNabb can't do it.
Oh, my God.
We got to figure something out here.
Like, he just completely, like, again, in a big spot, Andy Reid finds a way to fuck it up.
Now, I will give Andy Reid a little pass. He had some fucked up shit happen the night before.
Yep, he sure did.
His mind,
He didn't.
Oh, I mean, it's his kid.
his kid and granddaughter.
It's not his granddaughter.
No, it's not his granddaughter.
I mean, no, niece, whatever.
no.
No, she's
The
not
girl
related
was
at all.
completely unrelated.
Oh, all right, my bad.
So, yeah, there was, and we'll get into that aspect again. We'll talk about that at the bottom of the hour. We'll get into
That'll
the
be
other
the
stuff.
Tony Romo convo.
Yeah, but the timeouts were fucking retarded. I'm sitting there and I'm watching it and I'm going,
The best.
I'm like, I'm pretty. Why would you not like? No, like
Why would you not want the ball the clock to keep on running?
You haven't done
so
anything.
when you run out of steam, you kick a field goal and it's halftime.
Or they don't kick a field. They like at worst, kick a field goal, and then we're done. And like, okay,
yeah, it's halftime.
17-6.
Yeah,
halftime, not bad. Instead, you let them go down and score another fucking touchdown, and basically put the fucking game away.
Gone
in the first half because you fucking mismanaged the fucking timeouts. Like, what are you doing? Who in the fuck is advising Andy Reid? Andy, call a timeout right there. Are you sure, Andy?
Maybe this is why Bieniemy hasn't gotten a head coaching job.
Maybe.
No. First question of the interview. So, the timeout thing. Is that Reid or is that you? Oh, I mean, I kind of, give him a little when it's time. And
I thought you were making Bieniemy sound like Mike Tyson. Well, I
and every time every time I give him a tap, he just, he calls a timeout.
Tap in.
So, we'll let you know. We'll be in touch.
So,
that ain't the reason.
That was
really? No
that
way,
was
Sean.
a number one fuck up of Andy Reid. So I didn't understand what the fuck was going on there, and I'm watching it, and as a a football fan with 2 eyes and a brain, I was able to sit there and go, huh. And again, and I say this purely joking because I know being an NFL head coach is much more than just like what you see in the 3 hours on Sundays. But I legitimately believe that if you just gave me a headset and an Xbox controller, I could outcoach most of these coaches on game day. Or at least advise them and say, don't do that. Nope, that ain't going to work. Ain't going to fucking work. You should not do that.
Or at least be the guy that gets to talk at the half.
If that exact scenario happened.
Think if, like, going into the half and all that shit just happened, right? I'd love to be the guest speaker for the halftime, like, fucking rah-rah talk. Like, just think of the things that you could say to people.
What? Why? No, I wouldn't want to be the rah-rah talk guy. Like,
I don't want to be that at all either.
I'm this fat white guy who played D3 football once for 1 year. And I'm going to tell you like this.
I would love.
Okay, wait. So instead of just listening to a rah-rah from you, they're going to take offensive play calls from you instead,
No,
right?
I'm saying that's how ridiculous that is. Like, why in the fuck would anybody listen to me one way or another? I would never want to be the rah-rah guy.
But, I guarantee.
But I wouldn't mind being up in the booth. I wouldn't mind being up in the booth like, all right, call a timeout here. I'd just be like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Can you
Don't
fucking
do
hear
it.
me in your headset?
Like, no, don't call that timeout. Let the clock run. Let the clock run. Let the clock run. And they'd be like, wait, what? Why? Ah, fuck, the play snapped. You're welcome. Like, I would just be like the distraction. Like, huh? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's got to be somebody who's there just be like saving these guys from themselves. Because how many times do we see it in NFL head coaches? They get so fucking cute, they outsmart themselves.
I wish we had a guy that was really good with, like, editing video. Just put Joey on the sidelines. I get a headset and a controller, like. Literally, Joey's just going ham with the controller, moving all the buttons. Nobody's listening to a thing he's saying. The controller's like cut. The wire's cut, just hanging there. Just
I think we can make this happen.
And then everyone's like, Joey's like, I said time out. And everyone's like,
don't we have people for this?
Okay. Okay.
Everyone's like, yo, who are you? Like, I gave you a headset and give me a controller. He just.
What is he, Mr. T.O. said, I pity you, fool. Listen to my play.
I said throw it long. The guy's like, it's halftime, you asshole.
Joey's
Shut up.
coaching like it's fucking Tecmo Bowl, 3 run plays, 3 pass plays. Like, all right, I'm hitting up and A, motherfucker, run the ball.
But that's the shitty part about football, or the beauty of football is it's that simple.
Yes.
How long before Joey throws that controller at a kid in the audience? The kid's like, "Go, Tom!"
Oh, as
Joey's
soon as
like, kill yourself.
as soon as I'm telling Andy Reid, don't call timeout, don't call timeout, don't call timeout, timeout. That controller's coming out of the fucking booth. I'm like Toll Booth Willie. I'm coming out of the fucking booth. Like, that thing's going down to the 3rd row, and some first responder, or some frontline worker who got the vaccine. I'm like, hits him in the back of the head, explodes, and like fucking laying all bleeding. I'm like, nah, that's what you get.
He screams out, "Wow, my hole!"
Ah, my hole! But the best part about this is though the controller that he's using is an N64 controller.
The joystick in the middle.
Fuck yeah,
It's
bro.
a fucking weapon of mass destruction.
I'm sorry,
Three
but
fucking things hanging out at the bottom.
I'm telling you right now, greatest controller ever invented, N64.
Why do you think I said it?
I don't know.
Best layout.
And you said the chord.
It's the best layout because you could go this way, this way.
Yeah, see,
this
sometimes
way.
depending on the game, that fucking
This way.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. My favorite controller ever, Xbox 360.
It's the same controller
It's not.
as the new Xbox.
Yeah, I know, but my 360 was my favorite.
Hey, look, there's the controller.
Well, that's a new one, but that's just a copy of the 360.
It is actually a really, really good layout. It's excellent.
Honestly, I love the
I'm
PS1.
tremendous.
Sorry.
See, you give me one of
PlayStation
these.
controller.
Look, he got
You
the
give me
controller
one
ready.
of these, and I will take an NFL team
it's-
to at
it's
least
Kansas
12 and
City
4 in the
Red.
Super Bowl. Dude, you know
Good
it's
shit.
funny.
Good shit.
It's funny because my brother and I always laugh because I'm a huge fan of like red and black, and my brother's like he's like everything I buy like my golf bag is red and black. Like
I do too.
all my shit like I got red shoe, I got everything red, black, red. My brother's like, dude, he's like, I can't believe like you're not like a Falcons fan just because like your taste in colors, just
Or
because
like
based
a
on the
Bulls
taste in
guy.
colors. And I'm like, well, yeah, I like red and black, but I'm
They
really
weren't
partial.
always red and black though. When we were growing up, they were like black and silver, black and white.
Well, yeah, they were black with red.
No, they were always black and red.
Their primary color was black,
Yeah.
and then they had the red at the.
It was just
accents.
a different color.
And then they had the red. Now they have the red. But I'm like, dude,
Come on,
Bridgewater
man, don't you have a
colors.
neon
You know
Dion
what I'm
with a
saying?
fucking red helmet?
It is what it is. So the next thing I wanted to get into with Andy Reid and why he's a fucking idiot, and why again I will like, and this is why
we were gonna get into the.
Shh, hold on. I know
Panic.
what we're gonna get into. This is another reason why
That's what he's basically doing.
Isn't it full hand?
Scott. Hey, how about you give me a big bag of?
Hey! I'm helping you get back on track here. Let's go.
So
There is no track.
there is no track. This thing just came out the rails, and we got no brakes. The other reason why I fucking can't stand Andy Reid, and this is another reason why Mahomes and Reid will never, ever come close to living up to the fucking hype or the level of success that Brady and Belichick had, is because Andy Reid made absolutely zero fucking adjustments during that game. Both of his tackles were getting the brakes beat off of them. They were sucking so bad they should have worked in a Thai massage parlor. They could not block me at that point. And what did Andy Reid do? Did he bring in a second tight end, put in another tackle, go jumbo? No. He goes, all right, Pat, well,
Roll out.
that's what you got.
He played
Deal with it.
So you know what happened now?
Deal with it. What was Andy Reid thinking? And I get people are sitting there and everybody's going to make the excuses for him. And not everybody, but the Kansas City apologists are going to say, well, he was distracted. You know, his son basically just killed a 5-year-old girl on Thursday night. And that sucks. And honestly, I hope if his son was DUI or OUI and he maimed or kills this young little girl who is
She has
still alive
brain
in
damage.
very, 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 very rough shape, and it's a very shitty situation.
Lock and key, bro. That's what he deserves.
But listen, man, I got guys on my block that I babysit every day that are in
They'd
for
love to have him.
OUI manslaughter, and I give them actually probably less preference, I give them worse treatment than I do the rapists. It's
I don't know about that, Tim.
they're on the same level. Let's put it that way.
I mean,
They're on the same level because you're just as big of a shitbag in my eyes.
and
Because you
Sean
could have
lays the mic down.
Because you could have 100% not did what you did. You could have Ubered. You could have walked away. You could have walked
Look,
home.
you're not
got a
wrong.
taxi.
Especially in this time.
It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, like now there's no excuse. It's a
And-
fucking
and I'm
push of
not-
a button on an app.
and I don't want to sound like I'm being overly abusive towards
you're
people
not.
who are OUI.
You're just making the point.
Because let's be real. We've all been there. We've all done it.
Well, the captain one eye.
Every
There's
single
a line. I'm gonna
person-
follow the line.
Every single person listening to this show, every single person who's going to listen to this show, and every single person who's ever listened to this show, at one point or another has gotten behind the wheel of a car where they were less than 100% capable of being behind the wheel of a car.
How about less than 50?
Whatever
I'm sure
percent.
there's a lot of those.
I'm just saying. So that's a shitbag move.
It
But
is.
if you fucking do something like that, I'm sorry, but you deserve to pay.
That's
Yeah,
the
you gotta reap the
consequence.
benefits. You
There
gotta
are
reap the benefits.
consequences to actions, right?
benefits.
That's what we talk about.
Reap the
Anyhow, I know
repercussions.
everybody's going to sit there and say
Told you,
Andy
I'm fucking
Reid.
tired.
Andy Reid was distracted. Andy Reid was this. He was that. Blah 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 blah. You mean to tell me that during a 3-hour period, Andy Reid couldn't just go, okay, I owe it to my men to coach this game. I owe it to my men to get out there and do the best that I can.
Guy, we do it
And
for
you-
our regular day
You
job.
couldn't bump keep Travis Kelce in to chip Shaq Barrett, or you couldn't keep somebody else on the left and say like, hey, Mike Remmers really sucks. Maybe we should bring a backup tight end in to help double team Jason Pierre-Paul
Or chip somebody. Do something.
Or just
Well, see,
do
you can't
something.
use- you
anything.
can't
They
use-
didn't do shit.
You can't use Kelsey to chip because the second he chips, he's out of the play. For
Dude, what
good.
about the running backs? The running backs like, what was it Darrell Williams? He was just like, nah, He was avoiding dudes left and right.
He was.
I'll tell you right now, man.
And Hilaire's too small to take up those guys. So.
The art of blocking as a running back is
gone.
lost in this league. Like they don't do it anymore.
Not the Patriots.
The Patriots still have
Well,
guys that can do it.
that's a
You're a
requirement.
requirement.
Yeah, Belichick.
Bingo.
Belichick's like, I don't care if you can run 2 yards. You better
Can you
block
block
that guy.
this dude? Yeah, I can do that, coach. You're on the team.
I got this, coach. Who is this? It's a homeless guy. Can he run? No, but he can block like the fucking
I
wind.
like him already.
I'm telling you right now, dude, like go watch a film of Clinton Portis on third down pass plays and watch how
Oh,
many
he was
blitzes
massive.
he picked up
Oh,
and how many
he-
dudes he knocked on his ass.
Honestly, he blew dudes. He blew dudes up.
He did. Clinton Portis is one of the best blocking running backs of all time, but that's a lost art in this league now.
Who was great? Someone was phenomenal. I can't think of his name.
Byers.
No. There was
He
someone
was.
that you know. Not Sean Alexander.
No,
Not
Curtis
at all.
Martin was actually a pretty good blocking running
Well,
back.
Curtis
as
Martin
well.
was great at everything.
But he doesn't get credit for the blocking that he used to do. He was a great blocking running back.
I'm not going to think of it.
Jamal
Sorry.
Lewis.
No.
That was all right.
I'm just throwing names out there that it might be.
You know who was really good? Eddie George.
You mean Jamal
Eddie,
Anderson?
What, the Dirty Bird?
You just combined two people?
No,
What?
Jamal Lewis was
Jamal
the
Lewis?
Ravens' fucking 2,000-yard
Ravens,
rusher.
Browns.
His name was Jamal Lewis? I thought it was something else.
No, it was Jamal Lewis.
Fuck, I
You're
fucked
thinking
up.
Jamal Lewis and Jamal
Anderson
Anderson was the Dirty Bird.
Was the Dirty
Falcons,
Bird, yeah.
Ooh, Dirty Bird.
Jesse Tuggle.
Right.
I'm fucking up. Oh, Warwick Dunn. Warwick Dunn was an excellent
Yeah,
blocker.
Warwick- yeah,
There we
absolutely.
go. That's what I was trying to think of his
All right,
name.
I'll give you
Former
that.
Bucks and Falcons great.
Yeah.
Warwick Dunn
But yeah,
was great.
but the thing is, Andy Reid, and this goes to Keith's point about hitting panic mode.
It was absolutely panic mode.
The Chiefs just like they were like they acted like they were like, oh fuck, they can rush the passer. Like, no shit.
Like it
Like,
wasn't
what
like
did
what can we do to stop it? It's like how do we get away from it?
They were like they
Like
didn't even
bootleg,
yeah
bootleg,
they,
bootleg.
they didn't even know like they were like it was like they were surprised every single time Shaq Barrett, Jason Pierre-Paul, Vita Vea, and Dominican Sue broke through the line and was chasing Patrick Mahomes. They were like, oh damn. Well, this is a new development. It's like, dude, you got
Yeah.
two backup tackles there. Like, Mike Remmers is playing tackle for you. Do you remember the last time Mike Remmers played in the Super Bowl? Spoiler alert, Von Miller won Super Bowl MVP because he beat the fucking brakes off of Mike Remmers. That's, like, again, I swear to God, these coaches, they get inside their own head so much. They get so cute and they outcoach themselves.
You
and
know
it's
what? I'm not even just going to put this one on
infuriating
Andy
to
Reid
watch.
because yes, the coach needs to make adjustments and shit like that, whatever. But guess what? If we're on the offensive line together and we're consistently getting smoked, aren't the five of us collectively the whole being like, all right, man, let's try this. Let's do something a little different. Like, fucking crash my side, double team this dude, and we can see if we could just fucking try to touch somebody before they get hit. No, it was just like, all right, man, we're going to stay in our position, try to hold your block of luck. Like, this shit's not working, Doug. We got to do something else, man.
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand like why they didn't adjust at all. Was it Bieniemy? It wasn't Reid. It wasn't any of the Kansas City guys who just said. It almost seemed like they were going to be like, these guys are going to get tired from rushing sooner or later. Like, we're just going to tire
No,
them
you know
out.
what I honestly
It was
think?
rope-a-dope, but didn't get dope.
You know what I honestly think happened? I dead honestly, I guarantee you at one point in the second quarter, Andy Reid and Bieniemy were talking to her like, well, fuck it. Nothing we could do. Because they were probably like, all right, let's try this, let's try that. And the guys sitting there playing are like, wait, you want me to what?
At one point, Patrick Mahomes was just like,
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I mean, like think about it, though. Like, that offensive line had no chance, Vince McMahon.
none.
None. That's what they got.
They had less of a chance than the guy wearing the Bulls jersey in the stands getting roasted the other night.
That's a good one, but I don't know. That jersey was pointed. You're just walking around. You're like, oh boy,
They destroyed that man.
dude. Well, that guy deserved to be destroyed. It looked like his grandmother built that for him in the fucking downstairs before he left the house.
Dude, that was his girl or wife and had to leave him like right after the game. She went home and she was like, "Oh my god, we're on the internet." And the guy's like, "For real?" And she's like, "You don't
she
want
was
to know."
like, yeah, you don't want to know. He was like, why you leaving, baby?
Why is he?
You'll find out in the morning.
Why is he Louis Armstrong? I agree.
774-992-8702. That's the phone number if you want to get in touch with us. Call in
Tori.
and get in on this. Let's hear it. Let's hear it from you because I want to hear about what you guys had to think about the game, what your takes were. I would love to tell you some of you how wrong you are.
I still want to hear from the Patriots fans. I want to hear from the Patriots fans that all year long just rode Tom Brady like he was still a Pat.
The only Patriots fans I had a problem with this season, and I feel there were more fans like me than I knew about. I found out after Sunday, people were like, oh, I really didn't watch any Tampa Bay's game, and I didn't give a shit about him, but I found myself rooting for him on Sunday. I'm like, okay.
Which, guess what? That's fine.
Yeah,
You
I
want
was
to be
like-
like that? That's fine.
Well,
but,
yeah, you want to have a vested interest,
Yeah,
but
but the
people-
guys that are like all year long, like, oh my God, Tampa Bay's the fucking Patriots of the South.
like
Yes!
if you were wearing a Tampa Bay Tom Brady jersey
All
back
right.
in like September, you can go fuck yourself.
All right.
I mean-
I had somebody. I don't think you guys even know this person. He had Tampa Bay everything, even boxers, and I'm like, this is pathetic. And it really, like, on the inside, I was just like, just fucking root for anybody else. Like, that bothered me. I like, as a Patriots fan, I'm like, I still have my Patriots hat on. I mean, I don't know. I went out on Sunday and did like a few errands, and I don't know how many people stopped me and worked and said, "Oh, you gonna be watching the game?" I'm like, "Yeah." And like, oh, you
It's the
Like,
Super
no, it's
Bowl.
a Super Bowl. Even if
Awesome.
it's two teams I don't give a shit about, I'm watching.
Yeah,
the
but
game.
people ask me, people are like, "Oh, you gonna?"
Which, oddly enough, was this Super Bowl.
Are you gonna root? People ask me, "Are you gonna root for Tom?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna root for Tom." Like definitely. And they're like, "Oh, it's like 50-50 right now," and I'm like,
See, from a
There we go.
rooting standpoint, for me, like there was really no winning for me in this one because, like, number one, like in no way, shape, or form am I rooting for the Chiefs ever under any circumstances. I didn't care. Like I'm like no.
Joey
fuck
Like, I'll pick them
Kansas
to
City.
win, but fuck the Chiefs.
Yes, fuck them. I'm glad they lost. I'm glad Mahomes is a total fucking is exposed for being the fraudulent paper gangster he is.
"This could ruin him."
It very well could.
Yo, his mom came out and his wife, or
Listen,
girlfriend.
Listen, the girlfriend, you already knew, win or lose, she was coming out with something.
Yep.
The mom, that's kind of a bad,
And see, I
that's
love
kind of a bad
like the
look,
guys like Tori in the chat saying like, I knew the Pats were gonna suck. Like, we've chronicled this all year on this show. The Patriots were like 4 or 5 plays away from 10-6 or 11-5 and being in the playoffs.
though.
Dude, if-
you mean Cam Newton was 4 or 5?
Facts.
The fumble against the Bills.
So you've
the
got
fucking interception against.
Oh, I can't wait to be so right on so many things in like 6 months. I'm
what
like,
when the Patriots are 12-4 next year.
no, nothing Patriot related. All about other quarterbacks of other teams. I
What, you
can't
mean when
wait,
Carson Wentz is your starting quarterback?
dude. If that happens, I'm just gonna kill you. Because I'm
Well,
gonna be like,
you already started the poison. Fucking stab me with ink.
yeah, sorry.
But
about
these
that.
people, they sit there and they're like, oh, I knew the Patriots were going to be trash. Like, the Patriots weren't trash. The Patriots literally had arguably the worst quarterback play of any team in the NFL this year.
No, we had
And
the
they
worst
were-
quarterback play in like the last 15 years.
And they were still 7-9, and they were, like I said,
And-
4 or 5 plays away from beating Seattle, Kansas City,
Buffalo
Denver,
twice.
and Buffalo.
Now, and here's the other thing. Like Vic just made a good point on the chat. They had 8 guys opt out before the season, and not just like shit bums. That you
8
never heard of.
starters.
8 starters were like, nah, I'm all set this year.
and
dog."
they're all coming back.
Of course, they're all coming back. Bill's like, damn, I missed you. You're gonna be doing extra shit, but man, I missed you.
I want to, yeah, but I guarantee you, watch how many of them get cut in the preseason.
3 aren't gonna get.
I'm gonna say-
Hightower's
I'm-
not getting cut.
I'm gonna
There's
say-
no way in hell he gets cut.
We need the linebacker help, man.
Absolutely.
We need him so bad.
And it's Hightower.
But if they go out and they get in the draft and they get, or for example, what I believe it's Devin White is a free agent, unrestricted free agent.
He's
right?
not.
from Tampa
It's
Bay?
I'll take Levante David.
Levante David. I'm sorry, not Devin.
David's a free agent. He's turning 31, so he's still got
But I
some
need
years left in the
2
league.
insiders. I need 2 insiders.
Imagine Levante David in New England with Bill Belichick.
with Hightower.
And
I'd
who the
shit
f-
myself.
Who the fuck has the cap space to
pity
do
you,
it?
fool.
New England.
And the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's do it, Urban.
I mean,
Urban.
Auburn Moya.
But, what the fuck was the initial point?
We can talk draft on the show. I
we'll
see
get-
Tori
we'll
throwing
get-
out some interesting
No, but-
names that I
but
like.
what I'm saying
so.
is that like I was making the point that people can say, oh, I knew the Patriots were going to be trash. That's why I was rooting for the Bucks all year. No, you didn't know the Patriots were going to be trash. They were 2-1 in the first
let's
3
be
weeks of
real,
the season,
by
and we were
trash-
sitting here marveling over how they were able to completely reinvent themselves week in, week out on offense in order to play up to whatever they needed to do.
And let's
it
just
wasn't
say-
until Cam went out with COVID that's when the wheels kind of came off the bus. Because before that,
They were rolling. Well, not rolling, but they looked like they were actually going to cause
they were
some
going
damage,
to make
yeah.
the playoffs.
He had an arm. He could throw. All of a sudden, he came back from COVID. And he's like, COVID destroyed my shoulder.
Maybe it was all that extra time he spent whacking.
I want to get Warren Moon back on the
shed.
show because I want to talk to Warren Moon about that. I want to talk to Warren
But
Moon
now
about
here's-
Cam's because when we talked to Warren Moon last spring, he told us that the Patriots would be an ideal fit and they would be a great.
This was long before there was
Great.
even a whisper.
Yeah.
They would be a great spot for him to land, and he would be able to reinvent his career there. And I feel like he did that for the up
First
until
4 weeks.
Week 4
until
or 5.
until he was out for a week and a half, 2 weeks.
But, like, even going into the season, once they signed Cam, I mean, even before Cam, we all kind of had them 500, maybe a game over. They signed Cam, we're like, all right, we wouldn't be surprised if they went 9-7, 10-6. We all sat here and said that.
I said like 12-4.
Well, you were just hoping and praying.
Yeah, you were being a little
Fucking
extra,
Cam.
little extra hopeful.
I was like, if we get good Cam, like this team's in a fucking
But
roll.
you still didn't have good defense because all your guys left.
I don't give a shit.
Exactly. So if we're saying that as this team with the 8 guys that they didn't have, with Cam coming in and not playing that well, they weren't trash. They weren't trash. They were in every game this year. There wasn't a game that they lost by more than 10 points, right?
The Patriots?
Yeah.
They didn't get.
No, they got steamrolled one game. One game they only put up like 9 points, and it was like
No,
28-9.
a few games they got the shit beat out of them.
Yeah, there was
They
a
got the
couple
shit
games.
beat out of them, but the score didn't show how much they got beat.
Yeah, but it wasn't. But I see where you're getting at. But no, they were out of a couple of games. They were out of more games. Like normally, they're in every single game.
Mm-hmm.
And if you beat New England, it's by a field goal or the last play or some sort of like fucking like what the fuck just happened kind of shit. This was not that kind of year. This year, the Patriots got beaten. They got beaten handily a couple of times. But that happens to normally that happens.
What were the Patriots at the end of last year? Everybody seems to forget.
Dead.
The Patriots team with Tom Brady last year that
Were
started
trash.
off on fire.
Oh, last year. They meant
Down
this
the
past season.
stretch.
They were 8-0 to start the season.
Down
then
the
they got
stretch.
then they stopped playing fucking. Who was the third string quarterback for the fucking Jets? Was it
Oh, man,
Trevor
I don't even remember
Simeon?
his- No,
No.
Simeon was the guy they knocked out. It was the guy below him.
Yeah,
Was it Nick Folk something?
something. Nick something.
No, it wasn't Nick. Nick Folk was
The kicker. I know, but there's something
Actually,
like Folk.
No,
Falk?
I remember I was like,
Falk.
oh,
It wasn't Falk.
No,
it
I
wasn't
like,
Falk.
It's
It was
like
Luke
Colt-
Falk.
Luke
yeah,
Falk,
some
yeah.
shit like that. Because I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Cobb.
So they got those guys, and then like they stopped playing them, and then they played Baltimore on like a Monday night or whatever it was, and they got fucking waxed.
But dude, look at the
and
end
then
of the
that
year.
was it. And then they
No,
went.
we killed Baltimore.
last year. No, they got destroyed.
God damn it. You mean Brady's year?
Brady's year.
Okay, sorry, I'm messing up
Then-
last year.
because that was
Last
the-
year's
that was-
already this past season
No,
for me.
all right.
Because that
so
was
the year
because
prior.
they went 8-0,
Yeah.
and then they
then
went
they-
4-4 the rest of the way, and then they got blown out by the Titans.
Okay. That's
Yes.
true.
So that Patriots team with Tom Brady faltered down the stretch.
So let's talk about the fans real quick for a second, because that's kind of the biggest, the next big thing. Because I heard, apparently, I didn't hear it. I became privy to it through social media because people were posting about it. Apparently, on Felger and Maz today, they were ripping New England fans because obviously this was the second most watched Super Bowl in the Boston market ever, which beat out all the other previous Patriots Super Bowls, which is just asinine to me.
Was it all the other ones though?
All but one.
Which is the one? That didn't
I
pass?
don't know which one it was, but I'm
probably the 07
going to
one
guess
when they were trying
07.
to go undefeated.
Okay.
What other one would it be?
Yeah.
Bledsoe's first? I mean, the fuck.
Right, it wasn't 96. Beat out every other Patriots Super Bowl except for one, and I don't know what it is.
It's gotta be
And
07.
Felger and Maz apparently were ripping into the fan base, being like, because how many times did we see it? Like we were watching it on social media unfold in front of our eyes. People were like straight claiming the Bucks. Like they were talking like they were people.
Like
they were
their
Patriot
team from
fans
A1.
that were like talking like that the Patriots just won the Super Bowl, and it's like, bruh, chill the fuck out.
Like
People are
last
tagging
year, weren't
me.
you flying the Patriots proud?
People are tagging me in post after post after post. Oh, they fucking ho. The Bucks what? Brady wins another one. I'm like, yeah, but he didn't win for the Patriots. I don't care.
It bothers me.
I'm like, it should bother you more than it bothers me because Bob Kraft came out and said, if Tom Brady wanted to be a Patriot, we would have made it work.
Yep.
And Brady said, nah,
Nah.
go fuck yourselves.
He made the right choice for
He said,
himself.
I don't
for
want to be on a
himself.
shit
for
team.
himself. So Brady said, fuck you, New England.
Yep.
Fuck you, Foxborough. Oh, by the way, I'm going to grab Antonio Brown and I'm going to get Gronk to come out of retirement because he can do that now because the Patriots had to relinquish his rights. I'm going to get Gronk to come out of
So funny
retirement.
how that works, isn't it?
And I'm going to bring them all down to Tampa Bay, and I'm going to go to this hand-selected roster with all this talent on defense, and Mike Evans and Godwin, and we're going to get Leonard Fournette too.
Hold on, how many yards did Brady throw this year?
4,500,
yeah.
4,700.
So you mean
He had a good
Jameis
year.
Winston threw for more yards with a lesser team? Than
Well,
Tom
yeah,
Brady
because he
did?
also threw for 30
Yeah,
30
but he had
30 interceptions.
and like 10
I
fumbles.
said
were-
yards, motherfucker. I
give a
didn't say
shit.
fucking interceptions.
Dude, he was down by 50 points every single game. He's just launching
they're
it.
playing
He was
catch up
down by
every
50
night.
points because he was throwing them 50.
Whipping the ball on the field,
Right.
screaming in the field. Like, I don't give a shit.
That's a W. Let's go eat one.
Like a movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Brady threw up double-barrel middle fingers to the entire New England fan base.
I wouldn't say the entire New England.
Bailed and went to Tampa because he was like, fuck this place. and then he goes and wins the Super Bowl, and y'all motherfuckers are sitting here like, oh, we just won another Super Bowl. I'm sorry. Did your team? Hold on. Let me use one of your lines, Patriot fan base on social media that I've got. Oh, you're rooting. Oh, did your team even make the playoffs? Oh, they didn't. Oh, okay. I guess you better shut up then.
Who are you friends with? Like Jeffree Star?
Like
Dude, he's well. You gotta understand. He's in many friends and many threads.
I'm in
He sees
all the
kinds of
threads.
shit.
Joe just pops in some random person he hasn't talked to in 12 years. Shut up, bitch. And the guy's like,
I am in many
Kid's
threads.
like Joey Fats. Who the fuck is that? guy?
Joseph. Listen, yeah, no, I had problems with people that were like claiming the Bucks all year. I did. That really annoyed me as a Patriots fan.
It's so cringy.
But
It's so cringe. Like
I'm-
at least like when I rooted for Peyton Manning, like I would never ever root for Peyton Manning like I root for the Broncos.
Oh, is that true, Pat? I'm assuming what Pat just said is true. That Jim Murray's a piece of shit. Like, dude, you got guys wears fucking sunglasses inside
Jim
of like,
Murray, the ex Chicago Bears quarterback.
No, shut up. This is Jim Murray, just some loser from like fucking Revere. He's a piece of
Okay,
shit.
no,
yeah.
I know because Jim Murray
But he said Tom.
Jim Murray co-host of Pat Kerwin on NFL.
No.
NFL
This is just some
radio. Sure.
schlub. Anyway, if that's ridiculous. Tom over team. That's bullshit. Jim Murray's such a blowhard. I hate that guy.
And like that's the thing. Like you're literally sucking the dick off of a guy who told you to go fuck yourself. Like, and again, that comes full circle.
He did
and
it for
sums
himself.
up exactly what I've been saying about New England fans for the last 20 years. You're all a bunch of cucks, and you're like that's it. Like you're a bunch of fraudulent cucks.
Next T-shirt.
There's about
You cucks.
There's about 5% of you that are actual Patriot fans.
We have
of them's
one in-house.
right here.
Way to be.
Because I'm a psycho.
But how many people have you seen, Sean, that have been walking around all fall with Tom Brady and Gronkowski
All right,
Bucks
we know
jerseys?
a few people.
A few, more than a few.
I'm big mad when I saw them, and I was like,
We know more than a few.
I gave him that dirty
Like
ass
that
look.
is some like next level dick riding shit. And if this was a left leaning show, I would go so far as to call them racist because they
Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
because they changed because as soon as the Patriots got rid of their white quarterback and replaced them with an African American quarterback, they immediately bailed on the Patriots.
Oh my God, I didn't even put that together.
Holy shit.
Yeah, how's
Oh,
that for
Joey.
fucking wokeness, bruh?
Yeah, you're a psycho.
Yeah, legit. You called yourself
I'm not.
a psycho. I
Listen,
think you just
if
deflected
I worked for the Washington Post,
Oh,
the New York
Listen,
Times,
listen, to-
the LA Times,
The guy was here for 20.
USA Today.
The guy was here for 20 years. I'm pissed off that he left. I couldn't stand the tweet he sent out just saying, like, I'm always a Patriot. Like, I'm doing my own thing. 20 years, do what you want. I get it. I'm upset that you left. I think you should have ended your career here. I feel that way with a lot of greats. Like, I hate when I see guys at the end of their career go somewhere else. He gambled on himself and fucking won at year 21.
and if you're a Patriots fan, the person that you should be mad at in this whole situation is Gronk.
Gronk really does piss me off,
left
though.
you high and fucking dry.
He dicked you down.
No,
so
because
hard.
at least with Brady, contract wasn't there anymore. Contract was up, negotiations.
Robert Kraft.
Gronk,
and I quote, if Tom Brady wanted to be our quarterback,
I get it.
we would have made him our quarterback.
Which I get, but Gronk was under contract, playing for the team was like, nah, I'm out, dog.
And he
So if you're gonna
he
be mad
said
at
it today.
somebody,
He
you
said
gotta be mad
today.
at Gronk.
He said today. He says I was tired of practicing at full force when I didn't feel like practicing. He got to the point where he's basically like, I'm too good to practice. I'm tired. I'm beat down. I'm sore.
I need my
and
rest.
they made me practice, and that made me miserable.
Oh, I didn't want to play football anymore.
But still, how deviant you gonna be to be like, nah, I ain't practicing no more?
But dude, like you can't go against the success rate. Gronk can say that all he wants. He went to Tampa Bay. Brady, Gronk, all these guys went to Tampa Bay with the Patriots philosophy and fucking won. Like that whole thing of like play hard, play every day. You got to be accountable. You got to do this. They
yes,
really
and
brought
Gronk
that to
quit
there.
on the team that was having him do that, and then he went to another team and said, hey, this is what we could do.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they probably just let Gronk go out and run around and catch footballs, and that's fine. And you know what? Maybe, and here's the thing, and this I think is more likely than anything else. I think Tampa caught lightning in a bottle. Okay, they shouldn't have beat. They almost should have lost to the Redskins. They were definitely not the better team when it comes to the Saints, and they should have lost in Green Bay. They won the games, but they were not the best
And their
team out
defense
there.
caught fire when they needed
Absolutely, Joey Fast Radio rolling C1.
Hey, what's up, guys?
to. Pat.
Pat, what's happening?
Joey, I heard people say, like, my old supervisor, I'd be like, gonna watch the Patriots Sunday, big no, I'm just gonna watch Red Zone. I think a lot of football fans, just suck now in general. I think with fantasy football.
Well, yeah, I mean, don't get me
Well, listen,
wrong.
I've been saying for years, fantasy football has fucking killed football.
I've been saying this since 2006.
It's the gambling aspect, of course.
Right, you're just watching Red Zone so you can see who scores, who's got the yardage, what play just happened.
But that doesn't stop me from watching the Broncos every single fucking Sunday. Whether they're
That's because you're a fan.
Whether they're 3-13 or they're 13-3, I'm watching the Broncos every Sunday.
Yep.
Ask my wife. Like my wife will be like, "Oh, it's early October, late September, and the Broncos are already 1-4, and it's the season's over before it even started." And she's like, "Let's go apple picking." And I'm like, "Bitch, the Broncos are on at 1. We got an away game at Carolina today." Like, no.
See, my wife
Joey,
gets it.
you talked about the controller. I think the biggest loser Sunday is, I don't know if he was sitting in a dark room drinking Blue Label, but what about Bill Belichick? Why the fuck did he fuck this all up?
It wasn't Bill. What do you want? Wait, Pat. I love you for
I'll
calling
let Sean
in.
handle this.
I love you for calling in, and I love your feedback. But what do you want Bill to do? What did you want him to do?
Be nice to Brady. Give him a chance to retire here. Get a real replacement for him.
But he'll sign a
Jimmy G.
one-day ceremonial contract in like 2 years, and it'll be fine.
And if Brady didn't do that, I'd be 10 times pissed. Like,
Yeah,
if Brady
he
doesn't
will.
sign like a one-day contract to retire a Patriot, I'll be legit fucking
his
mad.
I'm
legacy.
sure he's going to.
If he doesn't, I will be like, I'm over.
He loves Kraft.
Oh, he better love Kraft. Anyway, what do you want Belichick to do? They really, I explained that a little bit earlier in the show. They went and they tried to get as many weapons as they could for this team with the cap they had. They tried Antonio Brown. They traded for Mohamed Sanu. They traded for
As
Josh,
you dropped
for
earlier,
Josh Gordon.
They were going to get or attempt to get Diggs
And
in
listen,
a trade.
and I know people have been arguing in the chat the whole thing. My fucking source is Tom Curran. Tom fucking Curran that lives in Lakeville.
Tom
Great guy.
E. Curran.
He's invited me to his fucking thing at the Marriott when he does quick slants. I've been on the show. Listen, Tom Curran has said legitimately,
Tom Curran is legit tapped in.
he says the Patriots had Diggs. He was coming here.
Wow, I didn't know that.
This is 100% fact. They had
Wow.
Stephon Diggs traded for. They found out Brady was leaving, and they said it's not worth giving up the farm to get Diggs if we're not going to have Brady. And as soon as that happened, they found out Brady had already given his hey, I'm not coming back. They canceled the deal, and he was off to Buffalo within minutes because it was Buffalo and New England head to head for Diggs.
Sean, I heard just because you brought him up, Tommy Curran said that Belichick thinks all these teams are going to fuck up the cap.
They already did.
We hope to get a lot of veterans from teams who just have to cut good players.
They're going to have to.
So that's not a Belichick thing. That's a economics issue, which I'm a huge economics person for football and sports in general.
Sean's getting ready for this offseason.
I love it because
This is going to be a fun one.
you actually might see this offseason, and when I say you might, I should say you will. You'll see veterans get signed for $1 million. That should get $5-6 million per year because they just can't afford it right now. The Saints are $79 million over cap. $79 million.
And that's before after Breeze's retirement.
Well, Breeze Breeze didn't retire yet.
No,
but
Breeze
that's
restructured his
sorry.
contract.
He's
I'm sorry.
restructured his deal already.
That's not factoring in the money that Breeze is going to that they still have to pay Breeze.
No, that's actually factoring in Breeze because Breeze is restructured.
Do I have that backwards?
You have
Yes.
that backwards.
Okay.
Breeze
so that's
restructured
what Breeze's
his deal.
Top number. It's going to go down to 60.
Breeze,
$4 million.
Breeze did a good brother
But
deal
I
right
feel like
here.
the $79 million right now, and they're $79 million over the cap.
They're over.
That's fucking
Well, with Drew
awful.
Brees, it's going to bring him down to 60, 3.5, 64.
But Pat, there's about 10 to 12 teams over the cap by a large amount.
Yes.
And those teams need to clear all that room, clear enough room for free agency,
And draft.
clear enough room for draft capital. These teams are going to be cutting big name players, and everyone's asking, oh, who are we going to get? There's Allen Robinson, there's Galladay, and these guys are going to ask for $20 million. It's like, sure, they can ask for $20 million,
not what they're
but
gonna get.
who's going to be potentially paying these guys? I'm like. Someone brought up a great name to me, and I forgot who it was. Someone on Twitter or fucking something. Someone said the Patriots should go after Marcus Mariota. And at first, I'm like, but I was like, you know
Didn't look
what?
half bad in Oakland.
I'm like, you
or
know
Las
what?
Vegas.
So
I would take that.
As it stands right now, there are 11 teams over the cap. Okay, so you've got the Lions
I
that
thought it
are
was 12.
the Lion. I'm sorry, you're right. It is 12. Actually, my fault. My bad. You've got the Bears, the Lions, Giants, Texans, Vikings, Chiefs, Raiders, Falcons, Packers, Eagles, and Saints.
Now,
in reverse order.
The Eagles and Saints are the worst.
The Eagles are the Saints are negative $78 million right now. They're $78 million over the cap. Eagles are 51 over the cap. The Packers are 29 over the cap. The Falcons 23. Steelers are 20. So there's your top 5 right there.
And-
your bottom 5, and here's your bottom 5 teams with the most spending power.
And that's especially true.
That's an ad.
Your bottom 5 in terms of spending power. From the bottom, Jacksonville has the most, $74 million. The Jets, $72 million. The Colts, $69 million.
Bothers
the Patriots, $64 million. And the Bengals, $45 million.
And that $64 million does not include if players retire. So if Marcus Cannon does retire, we gain an extra $6 million.
Yep.
If they
Yeah, 'cause
restructure,
you could stretch it
if they
out.
restructure a Chung or a Hightower, as Joey seems to think, they'll get more money. But
Chung's under 1 more year, though?
yeah,
Chung.
yeah, they signed him to like a 3-year deal.
Oh.
So
I thought he was done.
really, really quick, going back to what I was going to say. Here's a guarantee I'll have for the show. You'll see Wentz traded in the next 10 to 14 days.
Honestly, I thought he was going to be traded by
I thought he was a Bear. Yeah, I thought he was a Bear this
I
weekend.
believe by March 3rd, they have to pay him $10 million in cash if he's on the team.
Oh, he'll be gone well.
So
before
there
that.
is no way Philadelphia's going to take an extra $10 million cap hit to pay Carson Wentz. So he'll be traded somewhere ASAP.
Does he get a Brock Osweiler deal where it's like an NBA salary dump deal?
No. I think some team legitimately wants Wentz.
Okay.
Well, I think a lot of teams thinks they could fix him.
The Colts really want Wentz. That's the deal I heard because
I thought the Bears made a huge push this weekend.
Because Reich
I think I heard that too.
had him, didn't he?
Reich had him, yeah.
And that's when he was at his best career. So that was like the best part is I think the Colts want him. I'm all for him going to the Colts because I think he'll just tank that franchise and they'll make me so happy.
Sorry,
because
Paul.
I don't want to see the Colts come back on the rise again because it's a solid defense and solid young team.
Plizzy is not thrilled about Carson Wentz, but I would be thrilled about Carson Wentz in Indianapolis, but we'll get into that on a different day.
So I'm really warming up to this Marcus Mariota deal. Cheap money.
I don't think it's going to happen because I think Derek Carr is going to be out before Marcus Mariota.
All right. So apparently the rumor is that Derek Carr is not going anywhere now.
Yeah, I don't think
and
Carr's
they just
going anywhere.
and they just signed Nathan Peterman to whatever X amount.
Whom is feeding those rumors?
Of course.
Because just like we saw earlier today with the Russell Wilson rumors,
that I don't believe at all.
all of a sudden Russell Wilson, all of a sudden there's is there turmoil in there? Like Aaron Rodgers, all these guys are
Aaron
rumored
Rodgers
to be
has
on the
been
move.
stated the
I
Packers
feel
are gonna offer him a
Rodgers
deal.
is possible. Like as
I feel like it's possible.
No,
but
latest that I heard coming out of Green Bay is that the Packers are willing to give him an extension.
well, duh.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think they're going to trade him.
Tampa Bay said they want to open up contract talks with Brady this offseason.
Yeah, they want to keep him for 2 more years, not 1.
No, 3.
Fuck that.
They want to sign him to 46 is what the deal is.
I'm gonna fall off. Be a broke dick dog.
But yeah, no. If Pat, anytime you have like economic questions,
Fire
draft
Sean.
questions, like free agency, that's like my thing. I find that shit so interesting.
Yeah, the show's in the
Sean's
offseason.
kind of our he's our go-to finance guy. So
in every aspect in life almost.
yeah, most
Fucking
of them.
hell.
Hey, Sean, can you
Yeah.
Sean, can you please
Hunter-
can you please explain to the listeners what the difference between choosing credit and debit is on the
No.
Yeah, should I give credit?
Do you know how many people have struggled with that question? They're like,
I actually don't know. I just do whatever it tells me to do.
I say whichever one's easier for them.
Yeah, I just don't really care. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I've never actually. It's one of those things I've never looked up.
Sean, don't.
I was only asking. I asked
Do you want the
I
answer?
asked that
No, we
question.
don't want the answer.
I asked that question half because it was funny and half
Half
because
because you knew it was gonna piss him off.
I kind of wanted to know the answer.
okay, so anytime you do a debit's immediate. If you enter your PIN number, it's immediate. It comes out of the account immediately. If you credit, you
It
give
could be the
that
next
business.
day, yeah.
No, if you credit, you give the business up to 3 business days to take money out of your account.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I
That's
think I
why
knew that.
you
Never
pass your card at Dunkin' Donuts, and they're like, it's $9.52, and you didn't come out of your account for like fucking 4 days
Well,
after
Pat,
the weekend.
Now you know. You didn't ask, but now you know.
Good to know.
Thanks for the call,
what
man.
were you going to say, Pat? I know you had another question.
Oh, I heard Bill Belichick's followed Hunter Henry since he was in effing high school. Because he goes to that crazy high school where the guy never punts, that coach. So maybe they'll go after Hunter Henry if Belichick likes him so much.
But Hunter Henry, at the end of the Chargers game this year, I talked about it on the show. Bill ran out into the field like a scorned lover, looking for Hunter Henry. He's like, "Where is this big bitch?"
I need to give him a kiss on the cheek.
And then he saw Henry, and he threw his arms open like it was like his grandson that he just saw for the first time in years. And he's like, "Come here, you big soft ass bitch!"
Man,
and
I
hugging
miss
him
you.
up. And like Belichick perfectly seeked out. He went and sought out Hunter Henry and Justin Herbert. And apparently the rumors were last year is that Belichick fell in love with Justin Herbert when he actually went up to his pro day, and I was like, "Oh, that's all bullshit." And I was a big anti-Justin Herbert guy.
You really were.
And I said, no way. I said, he's a tall bastard. He's not going to do anything, especially going to L.A.
And the boy came in and lit it up.
And he lit it up. He has an arm. He gets the shit beat out of him. He stays there and takes
And
it.
he's mobile. People don't even give him credit for how mobile he is.
So listen, I have no. If Belichick says I know a guy I want in this draft and I can get him, if he says it's Mac Jones and he looks like a Pillsbury Doughboy body, if he says it's Mac Jones, I trust him. Because I think Belichick churns out good quarterbacks for himself. They may not be good quarterbacks for other teams, but they're good quarterbacks for the Patriots. He knows what he needs and he wants, and he gets it, and he knows how to do it.
Yeah, Justin Herbert's that guy that like everybody like what not everybody, but what I was hoping Paxton Lynch would end up being.
Yeah, I know, but no.
That's exactly what I envisioned when they drafted Paxton Lynch. Like, all right, it's gonna take 3 or 4 years, but Herbert was obviously much less raw. But anyway, I did just.
Joey, who are you guys getting? You guys going for Watson? What are you guys going to do?
Honestly, I have no idea what's going on right now. If Watson's available, and listen, I love the general as the GM now. Like, I think Elway smoked it out of the park.
I'm going to give you your next quarterback next year.
I'm going to give you 2 seconds to hold that thought. I love the fact that Elway smoked it out of the park with Patton, with George Patton as the new GM. This guy is absolutely deserving of the job, and he is going to do a fantastic fucking job building this roster. That being said, I love what he said about how we are going to be in on every deal. We are going to be aggressive in pursuing players. And the thing is the Broncos are kind of in that middle of the pack in terms of cap space. Right now, I think they're like
9?
Like $25 million under the cap.
What's your draft hit? 9?
And they're drafting number 9. So they can, and that's including they've still got to re-sign Justin Simmons, which I assume they're going to do. I'm 50-50 on whether Von Miller stays.
All depends on what happens soon.
Because I think Von Miller could be a piece that ends up getting traded for.
Well, what's up with this legal shit going on right now?
Well, that's the thing.
You don't know what's going to happen with Von Miller.
There's some legal concerns around Von Miller right now.
Ish going on. Looks like he went back to the 20-year-old Von Miller.
And I'll tell you right now, if I'm Pat, I'm like, I'll give you Von Miller this year's first, next year's first, and a third for Watson. And then let the chips fall where they may. Or you just do a little exchange of poo where Von Miller, J.J. Watt, straight up.
Exchange of poo.
Yeah.
I want J.J.
We're getting real silly with the nutty shit tonight.
Dude, I want J.J. in New England too. So
Mitchell Trubisky is going to be a Denver Bronco quarterback.
I'd be okay with it. I would totally be okay with it.
I don't know why, but I've just had this weird feeling that that's a guy that they're going to go after.
He feels like a Kyle Orton in Denver to me. And that
it doesn't.
Step above.
Trubisky's good, dude, but just there are certain
He played
teams,
for the Bears.
There are certain teams where just name me the last good quarterback the Bears had.
No one.
Jay Cutler.
Rex Grossman.
Rex Grossman was trash.
Got to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the defense took him there.
Jay Cutler got him in an NFC Championship game.
This is true.
Didn't win it though.
Yeah,
After
Mel Kiper swore up and down on draft day that Vince Young and Matt Leinart were both better.
Quarterback from the Bears.
I'm just gonna cut to the chase. There isn't one.
McMichael?
McMahon.
Oh, McMahon. I said McMichael. My bad.
Yeah, McMahon was good because he was tough. And he could hang in the pocket and would deliver a ball, but he wasn't good.
He was brain dead.
Yeah, poor guy. Almost got killed. But that's I'd be okay with that. Depends on what they give up for him, though. Because honestly, if you're giving me Mitchell Trubisky, Drew Lock,
he's a free agent.
I would rather give Drew Lock.
He is a free agent.
Yeah, but see, that's money, though.
That's money, but guess what?
You got Drew Lock under contract? I don't know. I'd have to think about that. But
guess what? He's not going to get top value because of the shit that's going on in Chicago with him.
But if you
can get him in a good deal, and he's still
he's going to get Teddy Bridgewater money, dude. He's going to get 20 a year.
Not with the new cap.
Teddy Bridgewater's available.
Listen, not with the new cap.
He's going to get 20 a year, dude.
He's not going to get. I'll give him. I say Trubisky to you guys.
He's young.
Would you take him for 18?
Nope.
I mean,
I would.
That's what we paid Case Keenum.
If you get a 3-year deal, 18 a year, I think that's worth it for you guys.
Worth it, yes, but would you rather keep Drew Lock on the cheap and roll the dice and see what he can do with one more year?
That's not a bad idea by Jared.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
What do you say?
Fitzmagic.
Yeah, but it's only good.
I can picture Fitzmagic going to Denver and just being like, "Watch me win 6 games out of my ass."
Yeah, 6 games in 6 weeks, and then he's just like, my elbow.
Yeah, he's gonna win. He's gonna win 6 games. We'll be fucking 7-9. Great.
I'm saying that's an option.
Whoop-de fucking do. And then instead of the Denver Broncos cheerleaders, they'll be the Denver Bronco whoop-de-fucking-do girls.
Dude, if you guys sign Fitzmagic,
Zippity-doo!
Joey will turn so fast. Joey will be like, "This man going to Super Bowl in Denver."
Wait, for real.
I'll
It's
take
the beard.
if Drew Lock stays on the roster and they bring in Fitzmagic, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Because that
Where
will
the hell is Drew Lock gonna go? They gonna
because
cut him?
that pushes Drew Lock to be better. It pushes Drew
Yeah.
Or
Lock.
at least it's Fitzmagic.
It's a
be like,
veteran
"Listen,
presence
This
behind
is how
Drew
you
Lock.
do it.
It's a great comment.
Appreciate it, Pat. As
I'm
always,
giving myself a
always
UTI.
entertaining, sir.
Well, Pat, thanks for the call, buddy.
Yeah, of course, guys. I'll be listening. Have a good night.
All right,
Hey,
bud.
thanks, Pat.
man.
You too, bud.
So Pat bringing the good questions as
Pat
always.
always brings the fire.
Yeah, Pat's
He's
awesome.
he's just got good questions.
Hey,
He
Pat, I
asks
hope you had a
solid
good
questions.
ski weekend. Was it this weekend?
Oh,
I
yeah,
saw him
yeah,
skiing
yeah,
or
he went
something like
skiing
that.
or something,
Yeah, good
yeah.
for you.
It
Okay,
was
have a
I
good
was
time.
just
weekend.
away from Facebook all weekend. I didn't care.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same. I said have a good time. That's all I told him. Don't kill yourself.
I thoroughly enjoyed Pat's photo montage of his whatever ski vacation he went on. I thought it looked fantastic. I'm jealous. Joey Fast Radio, row 1, seat 1.
Just an anonymous fan in Nashville. I wanted to call and say hello.
Formerly of Lawrence, Mass, by chance.
Don't we have a height requirement to call in on the show?
Rude.
5'3". I'm wearing heels.
Yes!
I matched it.
As long as they're the red ones.
Hey, first off, congratulations on your gigantic guest. It's his show, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
congratulations.
Yes, Gio. Yeah, first of all, Gio, plug your own shit.
Yeah,
real quick.
Absolutely. You had a massive guest.
Jesse Gibson, my cousin?
Yes. That's them.
Gary V. Gary V, the other guy. Yeah,
Gary V.
Yeah,
Yes.
the other guy.
the other guy, yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
Hey, Sean, more importantly, can I just address a quick comment? I was actually in a good mood, and I was going to just be very nice tonight and genteel.
Aw. What's up?
Sean made this statement. I literally just started spitting monster out of every orifice on my face.
Did you change it
He
into
said-
Kyle?
Sweet kid. He said, Bill Belichick has actually been very good at developing quarterbacks for his team. Could you name those quarterbacks, please, for me?
Absolutely. Jimmy Garoppolo has played well here. Jacoby Brissett has played well here. Matt Castle has played well here. Tom Brady has played well here. Those guys didn't play well for us?
So let me just ask you. Do you think Belichick had anything to do with Brady?
Of course. What
he
do
had
you
everything
mean?
to
Of
do
course
with
he
Brady.
did. It's a 50-50 split.
So you think Belichick is very involved with the offensive side of the ball?
Yes.
For a large portion of their career together,
Hold on.
absolutely.
Gio, let me say this. Maybe not so much in play call day to day and that type of stuff, but in development, yes.
In terms
Okay,
of
so-
X's
okay.
and O's and how things work and
Yes.
and being ahead of the curve and one step in front of the NFL and everybody else.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say everything development or strategy, Belichick has his hands on.
Think about it this way, Gio. When after the Patriots lost to the Colts in 2006 in the AFC Championship game when they were up, 21-6,
21-3.
21-6 at the half. It was 21-3 at one point, but it was 21-6 at the half because Vinatieri booted a field goal real quick there at the end. And then they lost because Bug Eyes Caldwell couldn't catch the ball. And he was wide open. There was nobody covering him, blah, blah, blah. We all know how the story goes, right? That offseason, Bill Belichick took Josh McDaniels, and they flew down to Florida, and they met with Urban Meyer. And the three of them basically concocted the offense that you saw
Yes.
in the 07 season.
Yep.
And they said, okay, here's what we want to do. How do we do it? What are the players we need? Then they went out and they acquired Randy Moss. They acquired Wes Welker. They already had
Kyle Brady, Dante Stallworth.
Dante Stallworth. Then what was
Jabbar
the
Gaffney.
Ben Jarvis Green Ellis.
No, Ben Jarvis Jr. Ellis was actually later. He wasn't
He wasn't
2007.
2007?
Nope. He was 2010, 2011 season.
Are you sure?
Positive.
You sure?
He was not in 2007's team. That was Lawrence Maroney.
Well, it was Kevin Falk.
Lawrence Maroney.
Lawrence Maroney.
Yeah,
I'm
Lawrence
sorry. You're right.
Maroney.
It was.
That's okay.
You're right. It was Lawrence Maroney.
Trust
not-
me, I had
sorry,
to
I
watch
got
it.
the two guys with the dreads confused. Lawrence Maroney. They drafted him the first round that year, right?
Sadly.
Yeah, he was good. He was good for that team.
Mm.
But yes, to your point, Gio. Then yes, Bill Belichick has his hand in on literally everything.
And then, really quick,
you can't change a fucking bulletin board thumbtack without Bill Belichick knowing.
but someone wanted to throw in, someone's like, I dare Sean to say Kevin O'Connell. And you're right. There's a lot of misses in there, too. But Kevin O'Connell and Cliff Kingsbury, one became a head coach in a college football team, and then he went on to become a head coach for the Arizona Cardinals.
Are
and then,
you telling me that NFL head coaches and GMs
Just shut up.
sometimes miss
Just shut up.
on quarterbacks?
Anyway. But Cliff Kingsbury said this year that he credited a lot
I
of
find
his
this news very
he
disturbing.
credited a lot of his success to playing a year and a half on the Patriots and getting cut from the team because he said he learned so much in that football room. And that was with
Yeah.
Belichick. So I give Belichick a lot of credit.
That's fair. I actually think that's a reasonable take on Brady. The other guys, I don't know that you would consider even top 15 or top 20 starters. I probably wouldn't. Maybe.
Oh,
Wanna
no.
argue?
I mean, outside of the Patriots, you're right. I mean, Garoppolo's had success. They made the Super Bowl last year, but
When Garoppolo's healthy, he's good.
Jacoby Brissett was decent for the Colts.
Yeah, he was.
Brisket
wasn't-
played well for the Colts.
Stop calling him Brisket. You're doing
Listen,
him
we
a
called him
disservice.
Brisket all last year. But look,
So I guess. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
but look what
I
look what
apologize.
Belichick did for those guys. Castle went out and got paid.
Yeah,
You got Ryan Mallett got out and got paid. Like these guys all made.
Well, Mallett
money.
didn't get paid.
Yeah, $3.5 million. The dude should have been the fucking
To be
league
backup.
minimum.
To be backup.
Whatever. But like the guys that left New England that looked decent on the bill all went out and got contracts somewhere else. So it's not like.
Yeah.
And then right after that, most of them faltered.
Except Rohan Davey.
Yeah, except Rohan.
He just
Rohan
he just
Davey.
fucking killed it in NFL Europe. He was the last NFL MVP Europe, and then
he played for the Frankfurt.
Germany team.
Yeah, Frankfurt, right? Yeah.
But I'm sorry, we keep cutting you off. Please go.
No, I actually, I'll be honest with you. I think that's reasonable. I don't know that I would consider him a great development. Belichick, the GM, I've always struggled with. Here's the other thing I have, though. I make no excuses or qualms about it. I am a Tom Brady fan first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Patriots second. I don't know why that's an issue. I know Joey's worked up. People give
No,
me crap.
that's okay.
But Mike,
if,
hold on.
That's okay
Let
if you.
me answer this one because I can relate. All right.
Okay.
I am a Michael Jordan fan, or was a Michael Jordan fan. I was not a Chicago Bulls fan.
Okay.
I rode the Bulls the whole time he was there. I was always a Celtics guy, first and foremost, secondly, behind Michael Jordan. He left, right back to the Celtics. He came back as a Wizard, my room turned blue. Like, that was my guy. So I completely understand when you root for a player. Joe Montana was my first love as a quarterback. I was a Niners fan and a Chiefs fan. I'm not ashamed to say it. I don't give a fuck. But we're talking about the people that weren't just Tom Brady fans, or like you, like you're a Brady fan first and foremost, and a Patriots guy second. We're talking about guys that like swore their oath to the Patriots, and nothing
and
to
I'll
do with
be honest with
Tom,
you.
and nothing to do with
And
anything
spent the
else.
last 20 years
Just
claiming
the
like,
Patriots.
oh, I'm a diehard Patriots fan. I've
Right,
been a
right.
Patriots fan since day one. I remember watching Bledsoe in '94, and
I
like,
remember watching Bledsoe in
and no. I'm saying like, and I'm just saying like when you clearly knew that those people were making it up because they're like, I was a Patriots fan in '94. It's like, dog, we were in 6th grade in '96, and you were rocking Cowboy shit.
Yeah, right.
Like,
The starter jackets,
Okay.
bro.
I'm glad to hear you say that because I do find it funny. I did love the Patriots. I'll be honest, the problem I have with it now is the problem I had then. Bill is that type of guy, and has Brady proved that he's great without Bill? Sure. And Bill is great without Brady. I mean, just realistically, the biggest thing that showed is that a quarterback is just more important than a head coach, period. It's not an
See,
even
but
playing
no, but-
field.
I disagree
Gio.
because I think in the NFL, the NFL is the only sport where a head coach is equally or greater than or better or more important than the quarterback because, and I will put it to you this way: what was the Patriots' record when Tom Brady wasn't there? They
were
had
still-
a
they still had a winning record.
they still had a winning
But
record.
hang on. Let's be reasonable now.
Okay.
Think about that. You're talking about that season, right? They go from 16 wins to 11. 5 drops in wins is a big deal. 11 still good, but one player was left that year, and they lost 5.
Right, but
games the
but
following
we
season.
got to remember too that 16-0 season, right? Okay, and we oftentimes because I hear this argument a lot from people like, "Whoa, we dropped off 5 wins. That was a great team." Okay, you had an aging defense. Like Teddy Bruschi was still there. Rodney Harrison was still there. This wasn't like a young defense. Richard Seymour, like these guys were getting a little long in the tooth. They weren't that great. A lot of shit went right for them in 2007 that had to go right for them in order to go to go 16-0.
In case in point,
Rex-
the Dolphins that went undefeated lost 4 games the next year. You don't go undefeated
Yeah, I guess-
years in a
I
row.
guess-
Like, it just doesn't
I
happen.
guess-
Right,
So
and
I
on top of
guess
that,
look
like
at the
okay,
track
like I'm just saying, like Rex Ryan calling the timeout. You know, like there was
like every other season, there are certain plays. If it goes one other way, a team wins or loses a game.
Absolutely,
No question.
100%.
Yeah, of
I would
course.
say this though. Back traditionally, look at the teams that are there at the end every season. I'm not saying a head coach isn't important, but it's no surprise the 4 quarterbacks who I would say had the best seasons. You could at least argue the 4 best quarterbacks this season: Brady, Mahomes, Rodgers, and Allen. Isn't there a reason those guys are always? When's the last time a team won the Super Bowl that didn't have a quarterback who was playing an elite level? It just seems like the
2015.
quarterback can. Say again. I'm sorry.
2015.
Boys,
Peyton Manning was not playing at an elite level when he won
the
when
defense
he won
just
his last Super
Oh,
Bowl.
carried him
his neck was shot, and so was
Sure,
his shoulder.
sure.
His foot.
Absolutely the most dominant. Yeah, so there's an outlier, right? Once.
No,
Not
the Ravens, 2000.
Well, Trent Dilfer. I mean, we can go back through it. Gio, I get what your point is, but I think it goes actually deeper than the quarterback and the coaches. I think because when you really look at it, it starts at the top. It starts with the ownership. And if you go back to 1995, and I've said this before on this show, if you go back to 1995, the Steelers, the Ravens, the Broncos, the Colts, and the Patriots have represented the AFC in the Super Bowl every single year from 95 until I believe it was whenever Kansas, 2 years ago, last year, 2019. So from 95 to 2018, those five teams have represented the AFC in the Super Bowl with the exception of 2 times. And that was the Raiders and the Titans in 99 and 02 respectively. So it goes beyond coaches, it goes beyond
It starts
quarterbacks.
from the top, like you said.
It starts at the top. There are just certain teams and franchises that have figured out how to run it and be successful better than others.
Yeah, I actually think that's again. I don't even have much to argue with that. I think it's a reasonable point. To me, you look at the teams every year that are competitive now. Ownership, sure. It's a quarterback-driven league.
I mean, it's been
a quarterback-driven league, but
why
is it? But how come it's always the teams with the great owners that always seem to somehow find the great quarterbacks and the great coaches?
Oh, yeah, again, a reasonable argument. I think they are the ones who understand that better than anybody. And that's why, and I say this too, even the thing with Bill, just to switch gears real quick, Bill and Brady, I have no problem with Tom leaving this year. If I'm a Patriots fan, and I am a Pats fan, I'm a Brady fan first, Pats fan second. I'll be honest, Brady on the team this year, I don't know how many more games they win. This team is to the point where, and it's fine, it happens with every team. Keep Bill in place, keep Kraft in place, and rebuild. I would trade Gilmore. I would strip that. I don't know that Brady being on the books for another 2 years does a ton for that team in that spot. I just don't. I think he's the greatest quarterback of all time. He's 43. Is that the guy you're going to start rebuilding with if that's a position? Because clearly that team was not winning. That team was not winning with or without Tom this year. And I'll be honest, the Stephon Diggs thing, maybe it was a lock, maybe it wasn't. Brady and Diggs on that team. You're not beating Kansas City this year.
I disagree. You almost beat Kansas City with Brian Hoyer.
Now, Gio, I'm going to say this, though, with that whole Diggs thing. If Brady says he's staying and Diggs comes over, I guarantee you all 8 of those guys don't drop out this year.
I think 3 of them still do.
3 of them might.
Because they had brand new babies and they said they weren't taking a chance.
Not all 8. And not only that, but if they see this as not a rebuilding year and like, oh my God, we can win the Super Bowl, they're more inclined to want to fight for it.
But Mike
is
right. As
opposed to be a complete rebuild.
Mike is right. If Brady's on this team, and that's a great question that people have talked about, how many wins do we have? I think we go 11-5.
9?
Honestly.
10? Okay, I was going to say 10.
I don't see it, Sean. I don't see it.
12 and 4.
All right, wait. You know what? I'll give you this.
The KC game.
The KC and the Buffalo game.
The Buffalo game.
I'll give you
the
those
Seattle game. We lost in the last play because he fumbled it at the last
Cam
thing.
had a great game besides that.
Cam played unbelievable that game.
Think of that Seattle game.
The Denver game.
We came back that Tuesday and we were like, holy shit. Cam Newton, the Patriots, going to cause some fucking damage.
Cam Newton's going to do it. Yeah,
I think 4 games would have been the swing for the Patriots team, but 11-5 is still.
I'm going to say a minimum of 4.
No, I'm going to say it's a 3. I'll say
Kansas
3.
City, Seattle, Denver, Buffalo.
Okay, so 10-6, 11-5. We're arguing 1 game.
All right, that's fine.
So they still make the playoffs.
Minimum of 4, probably higher.
Still a wild card.
I'd say 5 or 6.
And I think.
But you know what? They might not have made the wild card. Look at the teams that made the wild card.
Everyone made the wild card this year.
Well, that's what it was. 11-5.
Yeah, but everyone made it. I mean,
but that was your record. They
I think the Patriots would have been 11-5.
I think the Patriots are a wild card. Again at this point,
well, they take away a win from Buffalo. So yeah.
So great. You win again. Realistically, now, say you win 4 games, even 5. You're still not winning the division this year. But say he stays long term. So we're doing this to win a playoff game because I don't think that team is.
Yeah, you're not making it all the way.
Again, at some point you had to say, hey. It's been a great run, and I'm not trying to be that scumbag. I actually have talked to a few people now with this thing. It was pretty adamant at the end of last season. Bill wanted to prove it. Tom wanted to prove it. I got no issues with that. Good for you. And I don't think it takes away. I don't look at Bill now, though, and say, hey, you went 7-9 and Brady won a Super Bowl. Does it elevate Brady? Of course. He had a great season. He won a Super Bowl. You can say he shouldn't have won all these games. Whatever. Let's be honest. He won the game. He played great. The defense played unbelievable.
Well, the defense played unbelievable. Brady did not play unbelievable in the postseason. I mean,
The Super Bowl, he played
the
good.
Super Bowl was his best game.
Super Bowl was his best game, which is fine. But
And he
the
put it,
two
and he
games
put him in a
prior,
position. Okay, well, let's even that. The Green Bay game, was the second half atrocious? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But Joey likes to do the thing where, hey, it could have done this, it could have done that. And I don't mind that hypothetical, but let's go both ways. The 2 interceptions late, long third down plays down the field.
yeah, it's like a punt.
Interceptions, similar. And the
Oh,
reason
believe
they
me,
were in that
I
position,
absolutely
the reason they were in that position in the first place, though, is because he played great in the first half at least.
But I
Can't
absolutely,
argue that.
but that was a close game when he threw those interceptions.
Sure.
That was a close game. So no matter how
question.
good he played in the first half, it didn't matter. Believe me, I've ripped Aaron Rodgers and the Packers for
Yes.
you picked off Brady 3 times in the second half, and you had 6 points to show for it.
Yep.
The guy Rogers just I told you this. This is the only time I will ever say this. I promise I will never bring it up again. The only thing we called this year: get to the playoffs and do 2 things: break out your diapers and your Depends. Get 1 set on Drew Brees and 1 set on Aaron Rodgers. As a home favorite, they will urinate down their leg.
Yep.
It
Yep.
happens
Don't
time
get
and
it.
time again.
I don't get it.
It's
You're
like
right.
fucking
Why?
clockwork,
It
dude.
just happens.
It's like
And actually,
It's
if
like
you,
Peyton Manning. It's Peyton Manning. Peyton did, by and large, the same thing.
yeah,
Peyton Manning much
Look at the
better than
record.
the other two.
Look at the records as a home playoff favorite. More losses than anybody.
All right, I get if you're playing the
Manning-
favorite.
Oh,
okay,
if you're
I
playing
get
the
that.
spread,
Manning-
sure.
But Manning is a great. I'm not arguing. He's not a top 5 guy, a 10 guy, whatever. I don't care.
I mean, he's got a winning record against Brady in the
Now,
playoffs.
Gio,
whatever.
there's 2 quick points to what you just said that I want to bring up. All right. One being the Belichick-Brady thing going 50-50. If Belichick had it his way, he would have still had Jimmy G and Brady would have been out then.
3 years ago, no question.
Correct. Now, it's a completely different story if that does happen because Bill has the guy that he thinks could still get him to the Super Bowl. Jimmy G played great for him when he was there before he got hurt. Brady leaves. Now there's no pressure on Jimmy G if he can win the job or anything. It's your fucking job, kid. Let's go. Bill takes him and that team, and they're probably still in Super Bowl contention for those 3 years since
Contention,
then,
yep.
right? Contention.
Sure.
I'm not saying they're going to win it, but they're in contention.
Right there, they're there.
The
no
roster
question.
they have with him and Bill, that could be great.
Yep.
Nobody knows at that point where Brady would have gone, what would have been a good fit, what would have been anything. Who's to know if Brady would have even made the Super Bowl on a different team? This was the
But would
perfect.
you-
This was the
Hang on,
perfect
Keith.
fit
So
for Brady, though.
in that scenario, though, wouldn't you at least agree? Jimmy G and Bill probably as good a shot as just there was no powerhouse team that year. None of
No.
those teams were repeating.
No, there wasn't.
But wouldn't you also agree, wherever Brady went at that point in his career, he can be selected. He's going to go to. Wouldn't you say whatever team he landed on has about the same chance of winning a Super Bowl as the
But
Pats do
again,
with Jimmy?
Mike, it depends the team. Look, this team that he went to in Tampa Bay was prime. They were primed
Absolutely.
to make a playoff run. They were primed to do everything. They just didn't have anybody that could fucking throw the ball to an open receiver.
And they had no clubhouse leader. Big
Bingo.
difference there,
Because
too.
their leadership was all
They
over
did
the
lack
place.
leadership. and-
Everybody was fighting for that spot to be the top dog, and nobody could claim the fucking title.
Dude, how blown away were the players this week? They said, Brady texted the team every night and said, we're going to win this game.
Yeah.
They were like blown away that some guy would step up and be like, hey, we're going to win.
Hey, we're gonna win this game.
And-
I've been here, done this before.
and-
By the way, we're winning.
And the team was just like, yo, he gave us confidence. And like they were stunned. And like it blew me away that these guys like lacked that. Like they were going to the Super Bowl, and that entire Tampa Bay young team was just like, he was telling us every night we're gonna win. And they were like blown away by that. They're still talking about that today. And that was like mind blowing to me that these young men had no confidence in themselves, even though they made the Super Bowl.
None. And I'll tell you, the only mistake Brady made that game, take the trophy and walk out. Do me right into the sunset, pal.
Yeah, Sean
Nothing-
said that
Mike,
yesterday, too.
you
I'll
you
be
are
honest,
reading.
Nothing would have made me happy.
Oh my God,
And Gronk,
same.
too. And not only financially, because I'll tell you right now, this Tom Brady rookie card collection of mine is doing mighty fine.
Yeah,
you
no shit.
you
Had that-
bastard! I have one card and it's graded a PSA 8, and I'm never gonna be able to afford anything else in my life.
Yeah, not no more.
Not anymore.
Listen,
I got
have
this-
a
Well, if you
second
get into a
mortgage on
Geo
that.
stacks, you never know. You might hit one.
I got this Drew Lock rookie card, which I think
throw
is
that in
gonna
the
be
trash.
worth-
Good luck, baby. Oh, I got
Big
murdered
bucks.
on him last year. I was so high on your boy. Hey, by the way, and I'll tell you what, Joey, your team gets a quarterback in there next year. That's a weird team. That's a weird team right there.
Yeah,
Oh,
weird,
okay.
weird's Geo's word. He likes
No,
it.
I'm telling you right now. Look, if you put Deshaun Watson on the Broncos right
told
now,
you. No,
they're
Gio.
12 and 4.
I told Joey his next quarterback's Mitch Trubisky.
I know. I heard you. I'll be honest. His decision-making skip with a young team.
I'm telling you right now,
Yeah, but
though.
at least this team has wide receivers that can get open and
you
can
know,
get the ball.
You know who Drew Lock's already been working with this offseason? The actual one true God King.
Joey Fats?
Peyton Manning.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, yes, also that, but he's been working.
Does Fats look like a quarterback
Peyton
to you,
Manning
Gio?
is Peyton Manning has been. It's been rumored that Peyton Manning has been working with Drew Lock.
He looks great to me. I think Joey looks awesome.
Thank you, Gio. I tend to agree.
I'm all positive tonight.
I tend to agree.
I know, like who? What is this midget that we're talking?
I think Drew Lock.
I
Look,
know.
Peyton Manning's got supreme confidence in Drew Lock going into next year. He says he thinks Drew Lock's gonna have the breakout year that we've been waiting for him to have. I mean, the fact that Drew Lock is, people gotta remember he's only started 16 games.
Yeah, he's a kid. He's not
literally just like he's barely gotten his dick wet in this league
now,
yet.
there was another point that I wanted to say to you before we went on this, but you also brought up
Nope,
Aaron Rodgers.
that wasn't phrasing. I totally meant that.
You brought up Aaron Rodgers and how he wets his leg every time he gets home field advantage.
Fucking
and
every
time he's,
goddamn fucking
If you
time.
actually check out row1seat1.com, Joey has a great article about Aaron Rodgers on there.
It's true.
And what
Does
this
he have
has
a
done.
ghost? Does he have a ghostwriter?
No,
he's writing
no,
this himself.
these are all homegrown, written by us, man. This is all our stuff.
Row one, seat one. I like that.
Row1seat1.com. So now it's
I
your
appreciate
turn.
the time.
You can give your shameless plug now.
Oh, Mike, please plug. That was a huge get. You got to plug yourself.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Are you? Oh, brother. Sports cards nonsense. 3 words. Sports cards nonsense. Spotify. It's on the Ringer Network on YouTube and all that crap. We had Gary Vee on this, slinging some knowledge. I'll tell you right now, I was so prepared to just try to just go at that guy because I'm an aggressive little punk. He was literally the most gracious dude. He got on a few minutes early. I was like, do I have to clear these questions? Like, what do I? He's like, bro, turn on the camera. Let's roll. I want to give you as much time as I can.
Sounds like
I don't care what people. Oh, it sounds like you guys. You guys have always been good to me. But dude, just totally down. I honestly, I thought he was going to come in there with his arrogance and whatever. Nothing, man. Super cool
Nice.
with us.
That's
And
always
as a new show,
so nice
we
to
need
hear.
it. So there you go. I told you, I'm all positive vibes. Contractually, I have to be positive now. That's a little
There's the
So
truth
there
we
you
were
go.
waiting for.
All right, so
top of the morning to you boys. Thank you for the time. Have a good night.
Hey,
fellas.
Gio,
Thanks,
appreciate
Gio.
it,
thanks,
man.
brother.
Take care.
Gio from
Take care,
Gio
buddy.
Breaks.
See you, boys. Have a good night.
That's Mike Giuseppe from Sports Cards Nonsense.
Sports
and also
cards
from
nonsense.
Geo Breaks.
Geo Breaks.
As you can see, rocking the hat.
Man,
Geo
he had.
Breaks.
I mean, the video. I started watching it. I didn't have the whole video yet, but I mean, Gary Vee is like, it's infectious, and almost he has like the Gary Vee effect, where Gary Vee is so positive, you're like, I can go out there and beat Mike Tyson in his prime right now.
Mike Tyson can
And
beat
then-
a gorilla.
Why are you gonna derail me like that? Because then it just destroys all my confidence.
Dude, would Sean have a literal orgasm if Mike Tyson all of a sudden made a cameo in Godzilla versus King Kong?
And he knocked out King
And
Kong.
just was
he was
like-
like Godzilla, my boy.
And they just they hit him with the Power Rangers little super expand array thing, and he's like,
He's like Mega Tyson.
and he's just like, let's go King Kong.
And
I will fight
DMX comes on, where the hood, where the hood, where the
Oh my
just
God,
throwing
dude, we just
uppercuts.
made the next Godzilla King Kong movie. Holy
Jesus.
shit.
And you know what? We already just did a better job than whatever the fucking assholes did that wrote
Absolutely.
Godzilla versus King Kong
Absolutely.
did, because we know that they don't know. So
Now you
we
know.
And now you
So
know.
now we're on our shameless plug section. So like I said, check out www.row1seat1.com.
Absolutely.
Fantastic stuff. I had this
And,
great.
and as I just said, it's all homegrown material.
I had this whole article planned out in my head where I was like, oh wow, this is going to be Patrick Mahomes is going to
Aaron
finally
Rodgers.
he's going to defeat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, and this is going to be the official passing of the torch
Yep.
to the next dynasty of the NFL. And this is going to be the Bulls beating the Pistons in 1990.
Yeah, you were talking about that all last week.
And I was like, wow, this is going to happen. And then the Chiefs went out and shit themselves. And honestly, I couldn't be happier. I was so reluctant to write that article because I didn't want to actually have to give credit to the Chiefs, and now I don't. And that's the thing.
And he's
that
like,
people-
it's glorious.
And that's the thing people don't understand about me. And people were coming at me on from every angle, oh, you must be so mad. Brady won another Super Bowl. Let me tell you something
You're like,
about
while
this.
I hate this, the Chiefs didn't win.
Let me tell you something about how I feel about Tom. Okay, what I felt about Tom Brady in 2004 when he beat the Eagles and won his third in 4 years is the exact same thing I feel about Tom Brady right now. Okay? And I think the majority, roll with me, I think the majority of people, okay, when Brady got his fourth and they beat the Seahawks, I think the majority of people, whatever your opinion was
It didn't change.
It hasn't changed of Tom Brady. If you thought Tom Brady was the greatest of all time when he beat when he won 3 out of 4 against the Eagles, you still think he's the greatest of all time. If it took you until he beat Seattle,
You still think it.
or I'm sorry, when the Patriots beat Seattle, because again, I literally loathe giving out like Super Bowl, like, oh, Tom Brady beat Seattle, as if, you know, Donta Hightower tackling Marshawn Lynch 1 yard short of the goal line, you know, has had nothing to fucking do with it.
Or the very next play when Butler gets his interception.
Which led to the next the next play to happen.
Which got that boy paid and never was heard
You
from
know,
again.
You mean my best friend, Donta Hightower? I should just call him up mid-show and say,
You
what's
should.
up?
Just be like, hey,
Yo,
best
you're my
friend.
boy, Blue. You're
But-
my boy.
So whatever your opinion of Tom Brady has been, whether it was
changed.
it really hasn't changed over the last 15 years.
Correct.
There's a very, very, very small percentage of people that have been like, all right, fine. He's the greatest of all time. And they say it so reluctantly, so you know they're lying and they're just lying to
saying it
themselves.
to get you to shut up.
They're the equivalent of like the people that come out and apologize when like the woke Twitter mobs come and like, oh, you said an offensive word. And that's what the like
that was very Bill Burr-esque right there. I like it.
sorry. Thank you.
I like it.
I love Bill Burr.
Me too. That's
I
fun.
also think I am as talented as Bill Burr sometimes.
I mean, let's not get that far ahead of ourselves, but go ahead.
But they come out and they sit there and they apologize, and it's like like I said, it's the equivalent of like coming out and apologizing to the liberal woke mob, like, oh, you said, like, you gain nothing by doing it. They don't care that you apologize. They want you dead. So same thing with the Brady fanatics. If you thought Brady was the greatest of all time in 2004,
You still think that
you
now?
still think he's the greatest of all time in 2004. If you thought Peyton Manning was better in 2001 or 2002 or 2003 or 2004, you probably still think Peyton Manning was better. I will always put Peyton Manning above Tom Brady in terms of the greatest of all time. Just the same way I always put Dan Marino above Joe Montana. Because I have 2 eyes and I watch the game of football and I understand how it works.
But we didn't get to see great Montana, though. We were too young.
I've watched,
I know. We've watched it after the fact. But I'm saying
but I've gone back and watched
I've watched them all. So, I mean, I get it.
regular season broadcasts,
same
like
here.
for no reason.
Yep.
Just the same way I wasn't alive for the majority of Bird versus Magic.
But ESPN Classic gave us all that in 1 hour.
Yeah, well, my
I
dad
miss ESPN
My
Classic.
dad gave me that on about 3 VHSs, and that's what I was spoon-fed.
See,
Instead of watching Sesame Street, I learned how to count by 2s and 3s.
Yeah.
Because that's all I ever got to watch was the Celtics and the Lakers.
And you
So,
knew how to throw a punch.
did know how to do that. Or actually, I knew how to tomahawk chop.
Yeah,
would
this
be
is
the-
true.
no, or
This is
clothesline
true.
somebody.
Clothesline.
Definitely knew how to clothesline somebody.
Bird threw a couple punches in there.
Which is why, you know, Kurt Rambis became one of my all-time favorite Lakers because
This is true.
he popped right up after Kevin McHale pulled that bitch-ass move on
Oh,
him
my.
and
Kevin
got right in
McHale
his face.
tomahawk chopped the shit out of that dude.
No, that was the Chief on
Oh, that was. I'm sorry. Yes.
on Bill Lambier. Sorry, Jesus, lost the name there. The Chief tomahawk chop Bill Lambier.
Yeah, but there was the Lakers Celtics game. I thought
Lakers Celtics
I thought
was
McHale went
McHale
at it with-
clothesline. No more
Yeah,
layups.
okay.
No more layups. That was the game.
So
So don't start talking about too much. My dad's listening. He'll
No, I'm
start
not,
calling
I'm
it
not,
about,
I'm not.
and we'll be on here for another 20
no,
minutes.
but like,
But the thing
so
is,
the greatest of all time thing, right? And obviously everybody knows I was a Bledsoe fan, and I was very upset when fucking Brady took his job because that man almost died on the field. I got it with somebody to do.
He died
Brady-
died for the future of the Patriots. Thank you.
Yeah, no, he definitely almost died on the field.
Thank
That was-
you for your loss.
But anyway, that's.
thank you. For your
Oh yeah.
loss.
Well, let me tell you something right now. If he didn't go into that AFC Championship game and win it against the Steelers, we ain't
facts.
even talking about a fucking dynasty right now.
Wait a minute.
So why don't you eat my ass?
Wait a
we
minute.
might
First
not-
of all, I'm saying thank you for your loss. I didn't say I'm disrespecting Bledsoe for that win. Thank you for that win.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if Drew Bledsoe doesn't come in and throw that touchdown to David
David Patton.
Patton, yeah.
End zone.
in the back in the
Slant route.
corner. I thought it was in the corner.
It was in
wasn't
the corner.
It was in the
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah.
It was a late throw.
Yep. Late throw.
You know, like Drew Bledsoe always did,
We-
hang in the pocket and
We might not be.
deliver the
We
ball.
might not even be talking about Tom Brady.
We wouldn't be.
In which case, who benefits the most from Tom Brady? Let's say hypothetically, and we'll wrap the last 5 minutes up of the show with this
Well, no,
hypothetical
but this was my
scenario.
whole point on this. But
Oh, all right, go ahead.
So my whole point in this whole GOAT thing and, Brady, in the Super Bowl, and it was a meme that got me, and then I started looking up shit, and I was like, he's right. There's the meme of Montana with the 4 rings behind his head, and his jersey in front of him, and the pitcher's from behind. He's like, I didn't have to rely on a field goal from my kicker or the defense making an interception on the last play of the game. I went down points, and won every fucking game for my team. I'm like, he did!
Oh.
Besides one against, we won't mention it, but all the other ones. I mean, that's pretty much what he did. He went down and made the game-winning touchdown.
We didn't
not
even
field
belong
goal.
there that year, though.
So
You really didn't. Cleveland should have been there.
No, Cleveland shouldn't have. Cleveland would have the same result. It was just there was such a gap.
Same
back
result,
then.
but
Such a gap back then.
But I'm just saying.
The NFC just outclassed the AFC so bad.
Hardcore in the late '80s.
I mean, think about it, dude. Cleveland couldn't beat John Elway, and like Steve Sewell, and like.
But I'm just saying that, like, once I read that, I was kind of like, huh, and it got me to looking into shit, and I was like, wow, that's actually fucking very accurate. Minus one Super Bowl, Joe Montana, he had a game-winning drive every single time for a touchdown.
But you're talking about one game. Like, okay, great. Joe Montana threw 3 game-winning drives and 3 Super Bowls. Great. John Elway did that. Peyton Manning did that time and time and time again. It just wasn't in a Super Bowl. I mean, it's like, who cares? Like, I refuse to bestow.
I'm not just bestowing it on Super Bowl.
I'm not saying like.
But I'm saying for me,
if
if when you ask a question like we do in the NBA all the time, hey, 10 seconds to go, you getting the ball in a timeout. Who are you throwing the ball to? Kobe, right? That's Joey. Kobe.
I don't know.
Is Kobe taking your last ball? Who would it be other than Kobe in your eyes?
LeBron.
He might not shoot it.
But he'll make the right play.
Will he? But then you got to depend on that guy hitting the shot.
Or if he's dishing it off to Robert Horry.
What, now you're just putting too many hypotheticals.
He gave it to J.R. Smith.
Which, actually, I want to get to one quick thing about LeBron before we
But that's what I'm saying. So for me, if it's like, all right, there's a minute left on the clock, we're at our own 30.
I get what you're saying.
I'm giving the ball to fucking Joe Montana. That's the quarterback
Right,
that I want.
right. You want Montana. You want Brady.
Yep.
I want
Manning.
Peyton. Most normal, rational, free-thinking people, if we're being, all things aside, we should probably give it to Aaron Rodgers. But
I won't.
No, there's like.
I'll give it to Dan Marino over Aaron Rodgers.
Listen, there's
actually, does the team Aaron Rodgers play? Does the opposition have a winning record?
Yeah, this is true.
Because
Is Aaron Rodgers at home?
Aaron Rodgers is out.
You can make like a case for like 5 or 6 quarterbacks. If you start saying like you're down by 7, you have a minute to go, and you're like, I'm gonna give it to Eli. I'm like, you retard.
No, but that's what you can say. Peyton, you can say Brady.
Is it in a Super Bowl against a Bill Belichick coach defense?
There you go. Then yes, I want Eli too.
Then yes, I want
but
Eli.
like I'm saying, you can say Peyton, you can say Brady,
Situational
I can say
football
Montana.
matters, Sean.
It does.
Someone could say Marino. Someone could say Elway. Nobody's gonna bitch about that.
Nobody's gonna be. But there's no right answer. That's what makes like discussing sports so great. Is that you can create an argument for everything.
Yes, and
it's devil's advocate.
I had this debate with my brother the other day, and my brother was like, "Oh, they're talking about Brady being the GOAT and then Mahomes being the baby GOAT." And my brother's like, "Well, no, you can't have 2 GOATs. Like, it's either one or another. Like, it's one
and
guy."
Mahomes can't be baby anything yet. My boy has thrown fucking 600 passes in his career.
Mahomes, the paper gangster.
Mahomes the wannabe. Until he plays 10 years and has all these fucking stats and wins and blah, blah, he ain't shit. He's a good quarterback.
Listen, it's also going to be difficult. If he's already this banged up on year 3, like, people always forget about, if you're always in the postseason, that's extra games you're playing that people don't count.
The good news for him is he's benefited from the bye.
Because he's played, 3, 6?
They're getting rid of the bye, so.
Huh?
They're getting rid of the bye,
8.
so.
He's played,
No, they still
11
have
extra
one
games?
bye, I thought.
He's played 11 extra games.
11 extra games so far, so he's almost played a whole another full
He's
season.
made the AFC Championship each time.
Which is great. And don't
Super
get me
Bowl
wrong.
twice.
I
That's
think
phenomenal.
Listen, for all the shit we take on this show about us dogging Mahomes is a great quarterback.
Of course he is.
He's a phenomenal thrower of football. All we were saying from our standpoint was bring it back to earth, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Bring it back to earth. There is we don't anoint
By the way,
somebody.
we got an F in the chat for Bledsoe. I like it. Press F.
Smash that F
Like
key.
it, Tori. I like it.
Thank
We
you for your
don't
loss.
anoint people their third or fourth year in the season in the league. We don't anoint them. That's
No,
not
we
how
can't.
this works.
If it's year 10 and this was his 3rd Super Bowl and he's got all these fucking stats on his I'd be like, all right, you know what, the dude's pretty fucking good. Maybe
If it was
we
just
can-
year 10, it was his 3rd Super Bowl, then I'd be still be like, well, what
I
happened?
mean, a year
what
ago
happened-
we were talking about Aaron Rodgers being possibly the GOAT, and what does that motherfucker
Well,
do?
what happened the other 7 years? Right, but but that's the thing. These things play out over time. So you can't – now, we can be ahead of the curve, which Sean and I so far are ahead of the curve on Pat Mahomes, okay?
I'm not counting him out
oh,
yet.
well, his tackles were hurt, and he had turf toe. Oh, so you mean to say that he was hurt and his style of play
I'm not even putting a turf to one.
Lend-
I'm going purely offensive line.
I'm just saying it lended him to be slightly less capable than what he would normally be because his style of play
Yeah.
and things like that. Oh my God, that's almost exactly what me and Sean have been saying for the last 2 years.
So let's get to your LeBron
Wow.
point.
My LeBron point is LeBron James, right? Okay.
I think I know what you're talking about.
So here's the thing, right? Everybody in New England is sitting here, and of course they're claiming
Because
this.
now the greatest quarterback isn't the only thing that he should be.
No. He's the greatest athlete.
Yes.
Greatest winner.
Right.
The greatest of all time in any sport. He's now surpassed
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan because he's got 7 Super Bowl rings. 7. 7, count
So
them,
what's
7.
the first thing
So
I say to people when they say that?
my favorite fucking thing about that, he's Robert Ory. He's
Bill Russell.
Oh, come on.
I'm getting
But
to
if-
that.
but if
I'm
we're
getting
going
to
off
that. I'm
rings-
getting to that. Give me a minute.
That was a jab, Sean, if you didn't know.
I know.
This guy, he just throws the rhythm off of this show. I swear to God, we gotta get like. Can we?
Want me to stab him again?
Is
No,
there,
fuck
yeah,
off. I
please.
already got
Can you?
ink
Can
poison.
you?
Maybe that's what
do
it
the
is. It's
ink
the
poisoning.
ink that's going to my brain.
Tom Brady has now surpassed Michael Jordan in terms of rings, right? So he's the greatest athlete of all time. He's the ultimate winner. We no longer say he's the Jordan of X. He is now the Brady of insert sport here. So where do we go from here? Who can possibly top that? And this is such a double-edged sword, and I can't fucking wait for it to happen. Because all these people in Boston, right, who are claiming this Bucks victory and this Brady's 7th, and they're sitting there and they're like, yeah, Brady did it. He did it. He went to another team and he did it. He's the first quarterback to win for both the AFC and the NFC, and he's the second quarterback to win for 2 different teams, and they took the only thing Peyton Manning had, and he took it away, which, again, who cares? Peyton Manning did it first, just like Peyton broke the touchdown record first, then Brady broke it, and then Peyton broke it again just because, fuck you. But whatever, it doesn't matter. Peyton was better. It doesn't matter. The best thing in the world is going to be watching the fucking heads in New England implode when LeBron wins. He'll probably win, I'd say 2 more titles in LA.
So he's got
5.
5 right now? No, he's got 4.
4. I'm sorry, he's got 4.
So this would make his 5th if he wins it this year.
Yeah, 2 with Miami, 1 with Cleveland, 1 with LA. 4.
Yeah, so
this will be
he'd have
5 this
to
year.
Win 3 to tie.
This will be 5 this year with LA. He's probably going to win another one with LA the following year. So he'll probably win 3 in a row with LA.
Man, I'm starting to get scared about Anthony Davis.
Why?
My boy's just getting hurt left and right.
They're putting him on a pitch count, dude.
Shouldn't the pitch count be to the older guy, LeBron? I mean, what
no,
the fuck?
because LeBron's a freak. They listen. You can do that. Watch. Give it a month. LeBron will be on the pitch count.
I mean,
Anthony Davis will take over the
My fantasy team
Buccaneers.
fucking hopes so. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Great. No one cares about your fantasy team. Like when I opened up my new box, I bought new golf shoes from G4.com.
Yes.
And the first thing you do when you open up the lid of the box, on the underside of the lid, it says, "No one cares what you shot." Yeah, they don't. It just matters how good you look when you do
Sean,
it.
what'd you call those again?
Cleats.
Yeah, cleats. It's called spikes, Sean. The best thing in the world is going to be when LeBron gets 7 rings. Because he will one way, shape, or form. Whether it's with LA or not, he's going to end up with 7 or 8 rings.
But what happens if he comes to the Celtics and wins a 7th ring? Are you going to kill yourself?
Wow, wouldn't that be fucking funny?
I would be pissed.
I'd kill myself.
Yeah.
I know you would, because that would actually be the ultimate fuck you to Boston fans.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because then Boston fans would
have to root for LeBron.
Would be forced to A, root for LeBron, B,
Lose the Celtics.
acknowledge him as better than Jordan and better than Brady. LeBron James is the only one that can save us
You
from.
almost had Sean fucking have a heart attack. Right
I just
here
did the
on air.
Zach Galifianakis doing calculus in my mind thing. Just like how the hell are you talking about?
LeBron James is the only person that is going to be able to save us from he is the Brady of X sport. Because LeBron is going to surpass both Jordan and Brady, I think. And I think LeBron will end up with 8 rings before it's all said
funny,
and done.
That's not the LeBron point I thought you were bringing up.
Well, the best part about this whole
Surprise.
thing is going to be watching the Boston faithful just do backflips and go, well, because they are going to be so fucked.
Nope.
So fucked. Because all this heap and all their logic as they bestow it on Brady, well, he went to a different team. Well, the GM was this. Well, they're making all the excuses for Brady, bailing on New England and jumping ship and handpicking an all-star roster in Tampa. And now they're rooting for it, but by the same token, they criticize LeBron for doing the exact same
You know
thing.
what I fucking hope?
Which actually LeBron didn't do the exact same thing. LeBron went
Miami.
No. LeBron went to Miami to join up with D Wade. Chris Bosh happened to show up. Then they went and they got Ray Allen. They went and they got.
You know, Joey talks about the logic of Patriots guys, but the fucking logic of a fat sometimes amazes me.
What logic? What are you talking about? They went. They said this is how you win the NBA now.
Dog. We have talked about this way too many times on this fucking show.
But I'm just saying.
Not 4, not 5,
it's gonna
not
be
6,
it's
not
gonna
7.
Be, okay.
We going for a fucking record. We gonna get 9 in a row, baby.
And again, that was stupid, and we all acknowledge it was stupid, and we're like, yeah,
Cleveland
whatever.
high and dry.
He left Cleveland high and dry, and then what did he do? He went back to Cleveland and won him a championship. Is Brady coming back to New England and win another championship?
No, Brady's going to come back to Cleveland. He's going to wave and say, eat my ass.
Yeah, Brady's going to come back to New England the day he signs a ceremonial one-day
That's
contract.
what I'm saying. He's going to wave and be like, nah.
I'm sorry. I totally fucked you guys out of a Super Bowl.
We'll be signing autographs
again.
for $1,000 a piece in the back half.
Yeah. And by the way, have you tried
only
my
1,000?
Have you tried my concussion water? It works great.
So the point that I
pretty
thought you were
tasty.
going to bring up about LeBron James is this. Now that Brady has done this and he's been playing, he's 43 and he won another Super Bowl and blah, 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 someone asked LeBron, hey, LeBron, will you play until you're 40? Do you think you could play till you're 40? And he goes, Tom Brady has absolutely no impact on my future. And as much as I hate LeBron, I fucking love that. I absolutely love that because that was such a trap question. Guys,
of course it was.
Oh, yeah, well, fuck it. If he could do it, I could do it. No, that was perfect. LeBron,
now they're going to hold you to it.
LeBron literally was like, the fuck about Tom Brady? I'm LeBron James. Go fuck yourself.
Right,
I was like, oh my God, this is the one time I was actually like, good for you, LeBron.
LeBron James is sitting there going, I'm the breadwinner in my house, not my wife, okay? Thank you.
And I do not kiss my kids on the lips.
And I don't kiss my kids on the
Guys are
mouth.
fucking strange, man, that fucking kissing kids thing.
Where's strange?
Where's strange?
I give my kids a kiss on the forehead and on the cheek. I have never once kissed my kids on the lips.
What about in their holes?
I don't even know where he's going with that, but this sounds like a great spot to end the show.
Didn't even want to acknowledge
Didn't even want to acknowledge it. Kyle, I mean, listen, TB12 not signing the one-day contract to retire as a Patriot, I think that is...
That would honestly sum up everything that Joey and I have been saying forever.
I would think he was a big piece of shit if he didn't do that.
Bingo!
And then
Yahtzee.
it would be even... honestly, I hope that happens because it would just prove my point. It would drive my point straight home.
Tom versus team.
And then every single one of you fraudulent ass fucking Patriot fans who've been
eat
claiming
your own shit.
You say, I've been a Patriots fan since day one, even though I've got Niners, Cowboys, Dolphins, and Giants jackets in my fucking closet from when I was a kid. Look, the amount of Patriot fans that I knew in 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th grade were like non-existent.
I was one.
No, you were a Bledsoe fan. You were not a Patriots
but I love
fan.
Ben Coates and Ty Law and Willie
Yeah, but you
McGinnis,
weren't a Patriots fan. You're right. Oh, okay. So you liked all their good players. Great. Wow. Cool.
No,
Which,
honestly,
you literally just named like Ben Coates and Ty Law are two of the greatest to ever do it.
Okay, fine. Ray Crittenden was my favorite wide receiver. Fuck Terry Glenn. And they let him go for Jefferson, and I was so upset.
This motherfucker.
All right, so go fuck yourself.
So you're not a Patriots fan.
I'm not.
You've never claimed to be a Patriots fan.
I'm Bledsoe.
See, the difference is what people don't understand is when
She was
when
the best.
Brady won the Super Bowl.
Glenn
Yeah.
was all right.
She was
Rest in
great.
peace.
When Brady won the Super Bowl, everybody was like, "Oh, ha, ha, must suck to be you, Fats." I'm like, no, the Patriots didn't win, and it just threw people for a loop. And they're like, damn it, like fuck. They were like, we thought we had him, and then just like I'm like the Roadrunner, and you're like Wile E. Coyote, bro, except. Now, I got the gun, bro.
Yeah.
Me. You're Elmer Fudd, I'm Bugs Bunny. Ain't no fun when the rabbit gets the gun. You know what I'm saying? That's how this works.
So
like
you
thought
you're the tomato?
You thought you trapped me because you were like, "Oh, that sucks. Brady won into the Super Bowl. You must be so pissed." Bro, did the Patriots win another Super Bowl? I got nothing against the Bucks. I don't care if Tom Brady goes to the Bucks and wins the Super Bowl. He ain't a Patriot. Which is funny.
So what's gonna happen next year?
It's weird. It's weird because
are people gonna cheer Tom Brady when he comes to Gillette? Because I'm not.
No. You want to know what's gonna be funny next year when Bill gets a guy that he can use as a quarterback?
Like who?
Carson Wentz.
Fucking stab you.
You already did, Sean.
I'm gonna stab you.
Derek
for
Carr?
real.
No, Derek Carr. I don't
On a scale of 1 to 1.1K, how mad will Durant be if Derek Carr ends up?
He might actually talk to me for real if they trade Carr. He might be so distraught. He'd be like, "I'm
I
gonna
don't
talk to
usually
Sean."
call out listeners on the show by
Honestly,
name.
I'm gonna
but
say
how
this.
mad will Durant be?
Durant's a regular.
I don't
On
think,
one from
I don't think
1.81.
Durant. I don't think Carr is going anywhere.
I don't think Carr's going anywhere either.
I really don't. I really don't. You got a better chance of Aaron Rodgers moving than Derek Carr. I'll say it right now.
All right. Well, let's wrap it there. We'll get into the offseason shit
Dance
next
for me,
week.
boy.
We got time.
Dance for me, boy. Oh wait, hold on, wait.
Who the fuck is that
We
guy?
need one more.
That's the best.
We need one more of those.
Ass.
We need one more of those before we get out of here. All right. I am Joey Fats. For Darkness, Mr. Sean Betancourt. Thank you all for tuning in and listening. We'll be back next Tuesday night. We got a big announcement coming up in a couple of weeks where now this is
5 episodes
this
away?
is number 295. We are 5 episodes
episodes away.
from number 300. Big time changes coming for episode 300. So
Jesus
be
Christ.
ready.
Also,
yes. What can I do for you, my son?
We had a soft launch of cutting cards today.
Oh.
So if you're looking for trading cards in any type of sport,
Can you throw up the pick on?
cutting cards is the place to be on Acushnet Avenue.
Cutting cards on the Ave, right in the shop.
Can we share that on the Row One
Yeah,
Facebook
yeah, I'll
page?
share it.
Okay.
We'll pump that out. We'll get that shit going. But anyway, thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. We appreciate it. Thank you to for Guide for having us. We'll be back. row1seat1.com. Don't forget, check that out. Daily content uploaded, articles, videos. We got tons of fun shit coming. I've got some great. If you like RC cars, stay tuned.
Don't forget, check us out on YouTube and Spotify and Apple
And
Podcasts
yes,
as well.
Also, yes, the YouTube channel is going bigger now, and oh boy, do we have some fun stuff planned. So we'll get all up in you next Tuesday night, 8:30. We'll be here. Peace.
Adios.
Ciao.